well, I know we're not live because I haven't muted YouTube yet.
Yeah.
I know the instant we go live because I start hearing that. Oh, hang on, I can hear an echo.
There we go, live.
And there.
Yeah, there it is.
Muted it.
I hear it a second time.
Mute it.
I was going to suggest,
like
but
I was just saying, I'm not.
Go on.
I'm not going to be here for very long anyway because, as you'll notice, I've got a shirt on. I'm going out.
I did notice that shirt. Yeah, I did notice that.
I thought I was going out this evening.
What's her name?
It's my uncle is doing. Apparently, he does this. It might be a barbecue in the garden party. Depends what the weather's like out the other side of Cambridge. He does it every year, and I popped around to see Mother a couple of weeks ago. And she said, "Would you like to come along? You could crash out here on a Saturday night." And I thought, well, actually, this will be my last ever opportunity to sleep in my old bedroom because this month is when Mother moves out. So I said, yeah. She said, it's in the evening. I thought, oh, good. I could do this and then drive over here. Could I be at hers at 2? So I got about half an hour.
Okay.
The best laid plans of mice.
Mice and men.
And all that. No, just mice.
Yeah.
Just mice? Okay.
Mice.
Not so good.
Come on. You've got Hitchhikers, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got a suggestion for you, Matt. What you need to do is every time Leo does a video, just play it, record it, talk over the top of it, and then put that up on your channel. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is, I mean, the kids are going back to school. Well, starting officially on Monday.
Yeah.
So it probably I might get a bit more time, but then I've still got one other person. He doesn't usually work until the afternoons.
Yeah.
About the time the kids are coming home. So either way, it's still not going to be easy. I'll have to get up early in the mornings to actually do videos, and I was doing that for a while because my sleep pattern kind of like shifted, and I was getting up at like 6 in the morning and going to bed at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So I might have to do that, and if I'm going to do videos, because that's probably the only time I'm going to get some quiet time to record.
If you could put Lindsay off for about half an hour.
Yeah.
I was going to do it first up.
Up yours, Clive Wells.
I went to ask farmers, you're getting lots of work for this aerated concrete crap?
No.
Or at least your company.
What we're doing, the main scheme that we're doing is the SIF, the Condition Improvement Fund, this huge pot of money that the government have for schools, but it's generally not structural. It's roofs, it's fire doors, fire protection overall, it's heating, it's boilers, it's hot water, it's that sort of thing. It's all to do with either the safety and the safeguarding of the children or the conditions in which they're being taught. Structurally, we don't. That doesn't fall under SIF. Quite how many schools are going to be affected, I don't know. I do know that stuff got used a hell of a lot back in the 60s and the 70s. So, but they've known about this for a long time, and typically just sort of gone, don't worry about it.
We built a building in the last 30 years. It's 40 years later, and we've done nothing about it.
And shock and surprise, they're starting to fall apart. I wonder why. I have to say, a lot of the older schools I've looked at, they're bloody solid. Packed full of asbestos, but solid. I mean, asbestos, we were still using up to and around the year 2000. Anything pre-2000 still has a risk, even in the 80s and the 90s. Certainly, even in the 90s, there's a risk that asbestos is still being used. That's one of our biggest problems, because obviously we go and say, oh yeah, you got to change your heating system, all the laggings for asbestos. Oh shit, that's all going to come out first, and that's not a 5-minute job. That's polythene tunnels and blokes in full respiratory gear and. Yeah, so then to find out that these buildings we put up on the cheap with this dodgy concrete, they're all starting to crumble and fall apart. And it's not just schools, it's hospitals, it's anything that the government is responsible for building. Yeah.
Anything built by the former Property Services Agency.
Good old PSA. Yep. Yeah, so lots of ex-American air bases. They might want to be looking at their buildings too, because that's all ex-PSA.
Yeah.
You missed out on going to the Wilmerdale Annex Open Day today, Alan. I think you farmers probably would have enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
I think we would have done.
I think last weekend was the Australian Army Museum that I follow on YouTube. I think it was their open weekend, and it's like, oh, you've got all sorts of stuff that we haven't got over here, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
that's filmed from a camera.
Yep.
As filmed from a camera.
Yeah.
I put that on a
where's my phone?
Facebook posted yesterday, and that totally threw somebody out. What do you mean that was taken from a camera? And I just went, Twitter, RAF Luton.
Yes.
He did get the joke
Yes,
at all.
I must send you a copy of my photographed from a Canberra photo of a photo reconnaissance Canberra.
Oh, cool.
I've stopped doing Twitter, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it for RAF Luton.
Somebody they posted one the other day, and one of the immediate responses was like, "How long before we get a bite?" Because people still see RAF Luton but don't realise it's a piss tape. It clearly says so in the description of the Twitter feed that it's a parody site, and they go, "Oh, that's not a Vulcan, that's not a Concorde." And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, they're having a laugh. I'll just realise there won't be here next Saturday either.
Oh, okay. No good.
It's the We Have Ways Fest, the other side of the circuit next weekend. I'm there for 3 days with Al Murray. And it's I think the first one was last year, and I just went for 1 day. Al Murray, the pub landlord. Well, it's not the pub landlord. It's Al Murray, the historian. He does a podcast with a very well-known World War II author. And they decided they were going to do like this weekend military festival where they have lots and lots of guest speakers. So it's basically, you can sit down and listen to various guys talk about various aspects of World War II for hours. The Tank Museum came up and bought some stuff. They had some artillery pieces, and basically anybody in the area who owns a tank turns up with them and tear asses around the field in them. And it's just a weekend military festival. When I first saw it advertised last year, I thought, oh, that sounds really good. That'll be fucking miles away. It's the Black Pit Brewery that's just the other side of the race circuit. I mean, it's just over there. And I thought, oh, I'll go and check it out. So this year I thought, right, I'll have a 3-day ticket. I'll spend 3 days there.
From what I remember, just too far to walk.
Oh, well, I made the mistake last year. I booked a ticket for the Sunday, and it was a nice day. It wasn't too hot, and I thought, I'll walk, because there are footpaths around the circuit. Took just over an hour, and I was just a sodden mess by the time I got there. I'd sweated that much. My T-shirt was just soaking wet, and I was fucked. And then I managed to dry out. I had quite a pleasant day, and I thought, oh, shit, I've got to walk home now. That seemed to take even longer. I'd forgotten how big Silverstone race circuit is, So I'm driving this year. It'd take me probably take me longer to get in the car than it will to drive there. But yeah, so Al Murray, James Holland, and a whole raft of guest speakers talking about anything and everything to do with World War II. They'll say there'll be tanks, there'll be stalls, lots of beer. I won't be able to do that quite so much. But yeah, why not?
Yeah, well, I think that'll be.
That was nice, that, wasn't it?
Hey.
Matt, you need to move your camera to the left a little bit. I was watching that game. Can you hear me?
I do what you're talking about.
Matt.
Oh,
Matt.
Matt.
Talking to Matt.
Just.
Oh, sorry. Were you talking to me then?
Yeah, just move the camera a little bit to the left. I was
Could
watching that
almost
game.
see what your lad's doing. Nearly quite.
Yeah, just a little bit. We'll just see the edge. There we go. Now we can watch the.
Oh, there we go. There he is.
I've had to turn my whole monitor here.
Go right, quick, go right.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because you could also do with pointing the camera down lower a bit.
Yeah, I've
That's
been fiddling
better.
around with it now. I've fiddled with it a little bit more. It's kind of like
You mucked her up,
Just
man.
can't you just sort of lift your webcam up and oh, we're gonna
I
crash.
I could do that. I just couldn't be bothered. It's on
Yeah, I just don't want to.
it's on a wall mount swivel thing anyway, so I can move it around where I want.
We're running out of time to play bingo.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I lied. I might have to leave now.
It's all right. We can put up bingo.
Depends how long a Lindsay this is.
Kirsty's over in Discord, but usually wanders in by now. I gave him a poke, but he might be busy.
Oh, it's showing
Paul.
him as
Oh, Paul. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure he's actually in.
Yeah, he's got his mic on and he's not deafened, but he didn't respond to my text chat.
He might not be. He might not be in front of his
busy.
computer right now. Could be.
Yeah, he might not be busy.
I know where he is.
I thought he'd be right over here because branches in there. That's enough to get.
I know where. I can see where he is.
Oh, can you?
He's in Gem Panda server.
Yeah. I'm in there. I got it up.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, he's not
right.
deafened.
But his mic's he's open.
Yeah. I could nick in there, but I'd have to listen to Branch. I don't want to listen to Branch.
That's
What's this
one
branch?
place I had to stop going.
I don't think I've been in there pretty much since I've started this new job, because by the time you get home you think, I don't want to go in there and listen to those idiots. But by the time I come home from work, I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah. So yes, he is in there, but I haven't got it turned on, but I can see Branches in there. It's just pointless spinning in there.
Well, it seems weird looking at Discord with the white mode. I've got it on dark mode.
Oh, people who can't handle white mode, I don't know. I do it at work, and everyone says,
Yeah, I'll
"Why do you
do it
like
in
white mode?" I think because I like it nice and bright.
Yeah, I like it nice and dark. A bit like my
Yeah,
personality.
my eyes can't cope with looking at a really bright screen most of the time these days.
Yeah, same.
Not since I had that Bell's palsy a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? People used to criticise me because I when I've got AutoCAD open at work, and I have done for years, it's with a black background because that's how I always did it. And they went, oh no, it's so much better with a white background. And of course now everything comes in dark mode. Dark mode is an option. I said, there's reasons why I have a black screen. It's just so much easier on the eyes.
There you go. So Timbo, you're wrong. Period.
Yep.
You're just wrong.
It's official. You're wrong.
It's like putting pineapple on pizza. It's just wrong.
Oh.
It's good. It's good. What are you talking about?
No.
Oh, don't
Really?
get me wrong. I love ice cream and I love gravy, but I'm not going to mix the two together. Pineapple on just don't belong on pizza. Sorry.
I need
Ice
to know
cream
what-
and gravy. Oh.
I did like pineapple.
Exactly. I
pineapple
like
on
both,
pizza,
but not together.
What made you
How
say
about
that?
a
'Cause where
pineapple
did I
ring
post
on a
that?
nice gammon steak?
I've never understood that either.
Oh, I get that. That's not bad, but I would prefer it without it. But it doesn't bother me if the pineapple's there. I probably would eat it. I'd probably eat the gammon steak and the chips and the peas or whatever first, and then I'll eat the gammon steak at the end of it, maybe. But that's what I
It's
don't
when
mind
you're in a
that.
pub and you order a curry and it comes out with a side salad, and it's like, no, mate, I wanted a curry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Everything comes with a
I'll come
side
across that
salad.
with-
You think,
with the
what's the
side
point?
salad.
Because it's just going to get scraped in the bin because no bugger's going to eat it. Oh, it's a curry. What are you having a salad with a curry for?
Yeah. I mean, if you had poppadoms and a bit of like lettuce and some chutneys and stuff like that, I could kind of get it maybe, but but even
Oh,
then,
mango chutney. Ooh,
mango chutney. Oh, I like a bit of mango chutney.
mango chutney and poppadoms. That'd do, mate.
Yeah. And a
What
bit
happens-
of what's that little sort of spicy sauce, chili sauce sort of thing. You sometimes get, or a bit of mint yogurt.
It's gonna be
Makes-
scary.
oh.
Yeah? I'm gonna push the button on
Lime
Discord
pickle.
and see what happens.
Lime
Back
pickle.
in a sec. I may lose you, but you guys keep going. Wait a sec.
Me.
I'll
No,
just
the
bugger him
ISS,
if we
because it
talk long
was
enough, I can bugger off before Lindsay comes.
right on
Yeah.
sunset.
No, it's all right. I'm back. You probably heard a bit of that.
Oh, which one? Oh, which one was that? That was that Jazza?
Was it
Yeah,
Jazza, yeah.
Jazza.
Yeah, Jazza, whatever you want to call
Jazza
it.
Conda, the drunk Australian helicopter pilot.
Yeah, that one. He's.
That's
I don't know if I've
scary.
ever heard him-
mate,
He's
she'll
really
be right
helicopter
there,
pilot.
whatever.
I don't know if I've ever heard him sober.
No,
I think he
can't
gets he has a few before he jumps on. Yeah, he's annoying.
Like-
There's a lot of them annoying.
It's like-
Actually, I gotta be.
It's like Johnny. I mean, all the idiots, and most of them are drunk,
Mm.
aren't they? Or they're just
Yes.
really annoying.
Yes, and that's on both sides of the flat Earth. Good.
Yeah.
Some of them are just.
I mean, I found myself saying the other day, which I never thought would actually say, and I said to Jem, I said, "Can we bring back chemo and get rid of the rest?" I know. I'm sorry. I apologise. I'm really sorry, but
I remember one night, Chemo asked if I was drunk.
oh yes, I remember you saying about that. Yeah, yeah.
And actually, I wasn't, but I really should have called the ambulance there and then. I was told afterwards.
Oh really?
Well,
Okay.
yes, because I was because half my face was being paralysed.
Oh,
All
dear.
the time, right? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thinking maybe you're saying about
That was when I had the Bell's palsy,
that. Mm-hmm.
fortunately, and not a bloody stroke.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
Would have been a whole lot worse if it was.
Yeah, that's
Well-
why I was told off for not calling the ambulance straight away. I didn't.
Well, most people
even
when
really
they get
till I woke up.
well, most people when they get those episodes from what I've seen. I mean, I've seen a couple of stroke victims before myself, and they don't really realise what's happening to them. It's other people that have to point it out to them, because face drooping one side and all the rest of it, slurred speech, yada yada, and they don't realise. My mum had a mini stroke about a year or so ago, and it actually took her dad to actually realise that she wasn't quite right. She was talking nonsense, and she was just slightly drooped to one side. But luckily, it was just kind of a very quite a minor stroke. Luckily, it didn't have any long term effects. Thank God. But yeah, a lot of people don't realise they're having a stroke. Some do, some don't.
Yes, Clive, I don't use dark mode. So in AutoCAD, I use dark mode only in, if you want to call it that, in model space, but in paper space, I do it all with white, so it looks like a plan.
No.
Well, so I can see what it's going to look like. I also go in and turn on, shows plot styles and alignment, so I have always have a what you see, what you get situation.
I'm all for turning line weights on, but no.
It's all right in AutoCAD. You don't do much work in real life. You don't do much work in paper space. It's just
Paper
there.
space, no.
You do most of your work in model space. So.
You just don't do much work. Period. Like me.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say that. Ask my wife when I come home at 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes.
Took me years to realize they even had paper space.
Yeah.
I remember when there was only one
hello,
paper
Blue.
space. I actually remember before paper space, I've got to admit, but it was quite good when they brought it in.
That's what I mean. They brought it in. I didn't notice.
It's stuck in there. Yes, paper space made it so much easier. I was
When
trying
you
to.
go to model space and it's all to scale, you think, no, just no.
Oh, yeah, you messed that up. Exactly.
You mean it's not at scale?
No,
So
it
is
is
this
actually, it's a 1 to 50 drawing, and you
Oh,
go to
you
model
mean that
space
they've-
and everything's drawn at 1 to 50. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, you
no.
mean they've scaled it rather than been proper units. Yeah.
So is
make-
paper
Oh, model
space like a?
It's like a view
So-
into the model.
AutoCAD
So it's
draws full. If you do it right, AutoCAD draws full scale, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
Yeah, your model space is where you actually do the drawing. It's where you say you got the plan of the building and all of the stuff you're putting inside, and it's all 1 to 1. So if you
right,
measure
okay,
something
gotcha.
and it's 2 meters long, when you measure it on the screen, it will say, "Oh, 2,000," as in 2,000 millimeters.
Or
You
if you
know,
use feet, you
when
can
you
do
go
it
to
in feet.
paper space, you have what's called a viewport, and that viewport is looking at a part of what's in model space, and that's where you set the scale. You can say, "Oh, this is 1 to 50, 1 to 100, whatever," and that's where the
Right.
title block is with all the information, what the drawing is,
So-
what the site is, what the drawing number is, blah blah blah. That's pretty much what you're going to see when you print it out. But in model space, that's where that's the space where you model everything, and it's generally at 1 to 1.
So it's an integral part of AutoCAD, then, is it? It's not like an add-on
Yes.
that you put on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an
No,
integral part.
that's
Right,
how
okay.
AutoCAD works.
It was
Yeah,
first.
Unless you're out of your mind, you draw it at 1 to 1. Because things are going to go
Yeah.
badly wrong for you later if you don't.
Yeah. And it's much easier with dimensioning and stuff. Yeah.
Some people, and you could do that in model space where you draw all 3 orthographic views if you want to, and then just break them up into 3 different views in paper space. And so you got all your models, the whole model, everything's all on one big model. Trouble is with really complicated drawings and really complicated models, that those files become enormous.
Yeah, you know,
deal with.
You can actually put the 3D model in model space and then get your orthographic and section views in paper space if you want to.
You can do that too if you're playing with 3D. I hate 3D.
I like to if it's 3-dimensional, I like to build it 3-dimensional in AutoCAD. So, yeah. But I think that's just the nature of what I do.
AutoCAD's just clumsy. 3D is so damn clumsy in that program.
Oh, there's definitely better 3D programs than AutoCAD, but if you're doing serious 3D, in AutoCAD you don't use vanilla. You get one of the packages. So, like Farmers, if he was doing pipe work, he'd get MEP, and then you could just draw a pipe, and it would model it properly, and you just go join to this box, join this pipe to that such and such, and yeah, you don't do so much work.
Right, I like to declare victory because I'm going.
Yeah, no, I was being nice.
No, you're gonna be there for a hot minute if you start drawing 2D polylines and extruding the damn things to build 3D models.
Well, definitely pipe work. Yeah,
that is a lot of work.
It is. Yeah. So,
right, well, have fun. Enjoy, Lindsay.
It's okay. I'll save it. See,
we wasted 15-20 minutes talking. We could have just done Lindsay, especially for Farmers, and he did it on purpose. He gets these conversations going. He just talks for a little while, and then delays it. He's cheating.
It's okay. We're going to have a Lindsay marathon when he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, not next Saturday, but the
Saturday afterwards. We'll have 3 in a row just for Farmers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have a power cut. I'll make sure of that.
Or I'm going to be ill.
Well, have fun.
Okay,
have fun,
later.
and I'll see you in a fortnight.
Okay.
See you later.
See you in a couple of weeks then.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adios.
And he's gone.
He's out of here. I was going to chase that Paul. He's not in.
He was over on Jim's server.
Yeah,
but he's not responding.
I'm actually going to see if I can raise him. Let me give you a sec. I'll switch into Gems and just see if he's there.
You're going to speak to him in voice?
If I can. Because sometimes that raises him. Depends who else is talking, but you'll have to listen to them for a sec. So hang on a sec.
Just
I don't know about you guys, but
else.
I'll be real. I've been in many situations where I've been in desperate need sometimes. I've never hurt anyone, and I've never broken into any place.
So
but if I
talk,
had to take some toilet paper here and there, I have.
Well, this guy's quite well off, He's on a 6-figure salary.
I don't think that's true. And I
That's
also don't
the
think
news report said.
Did it? Did it say it was 3 a.m? Because I know lots of stories of rich people who are in dire straits because it's 3 in the morning or they're in the desert or something. They're not in their thing or their atmosphere. So every store is closed, right? You're passing by McDonald's and KFC's and everything's closed. You start getting real scared because there's not a single thing opened, and this urge is coming. I think that was the
I mean,
section of it.
honestly, if it was a real situation and rich or not rich, and I had the urge and I had explosive diarrhea, I would probably pull my ass over
You don't
and
have
go
to
to
be
the
deep. You don't get into details.
That's
I
hot.
Can I
I
interrupt
would
just
go
for a
to
second?
the woods. I would go to the woods
Please,
and then wipe my ass with some leaves,
all
and
right,
I take
please.
my
Let
ass
the guy.
home.
This guy Turbo's trying, or Timbo's trying to get
Timbo
in.
Table.
Timbo, please.
I just wanted to see if I could raise Paul. We're just looking for him. He'll know what I mean. If you can hear me,
I love
Paul.
Paul. Paul's a good guy. He's in here.
Yeah, no.
All right, we
Yeah.
got an APB out on Paul.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. There you guys.
Listen, Scarlett, you got to be a little classier than that because, like, we're kind of doing code words a little bit, and no one's saying, firea or explosive diarrhea. No one's saying that kind of stuff. Okay, so you got to kind of just
Well,
be a
it
little
sounded
classier.
like
Oh, yeah. Enough of that. Sorry to put you through that diarrhea.
Which bimbo was that? Jesus God.
Hang on, let's see if we see who's talking. Can't see them. Hang on a sec.
With that guy because of the fact that it was during COVID, it was the middle of the night, it was a miracle. To me, it reminds me a lot of the Hanukkah story, where it's like, oh, you have this oil supposed to last 1 day, it lasts 8 days. Like,
Scarlet Sky by the looks of that. Don't know. New one to me. I don't think I've heard it before.
Yeah. Pretty sure I don't need to talk to her.
Yeah, it didn't sound like something it was going to be stimulating conversation, did it?
No, well, yeah, stimulating, but the wrong way.
Yes, it was caused what she was
there's
worried about.
Paul.
There's Paul. Here he is. G'day, mate. How you going?
Apparently, the diarrhea discussion woke him up.
I was surprised he was still listening to it. I can't hear him yet. You there, Paul? Oop, who did I lose? I lost Matt. Matt's off.
Now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. That's better.
Oh, good. Sorry about that. I'm late.
Okay.
I had my brother knock on my door. So
Oh, okay. That's all right.
yeah.
It was just sort of like, you're listening to the diarrhea talk, but you're not coming in to talk to us.
Oh, because I wasn't actually listening to
No,
the
I
diarrhea
don't.
talk. I was present. I was there, but no lights were on.
I figured as much because you didn't. I prompted you a couple of times in chat, but you didn't
Yeah.
pop up. So I figured, I'll talk. You'll hear me if I talk. And obviously, I don't think it was conversation that mattered that I interrupted.
Not
No,
hardly.
it's been pretty dismal there.
Yeah, it has been. It was a little while back too. Branch has been on. That makes it worse. Oh, I can't stand that guy.
Oh, Christ, Branch. Ooh.
He just destroys any. He's the worst. He destroys any conversation. Doesn't matter what it is. He has to try and insert himself or change it to what he wants to talk about. He's worse than. I reckon he's worse than Mabbit and the other guy. Almost worse than
Swear.
Jen.
I would rather listen to man, give me a second. I'd rather, yeah, I know. I'd rather listen to Tiny Tim sing Tiptoe Through the Tulips than listen to Branch.
Yeah. Yes.
You
but
guys
doesn't
aren't
offer
old
much.
enough to remember Tiny Tim.
Oh, yes. Well, I remember him because obviously he had my name, so. And who else doesn't know someone who plays the ukulele and gets in the top 40, you know? Come on. Yes.
Yeah, could have been worse. I say could be worse. Could be the singing postman.
I don't know the singing postman. I know the singing nun.
He really was a Norfolk postman, but he did sort of folk stuff, folk tunes, in the proper Norfolk dialect.
All right.
He actually had quite a large hit in the UK with a song called "How You Got a Light Boy."
Okay. I remember I was saying there were some weird things that got popular. What was the Irish guys that were popular there for a little while? And they had that silly song about the unicorn not making it on the boat. I can't remember that. Oop, that had a malfunction. Just bring up to speed, Paul. Farmer's chickened out on watching Lindsay and has run away. Just so you know. And he's not coming back for a couple of weeks.
What? Farmer's running away?
Yeah. No, he had to go out. He was here for a little bit.
Yeah, he found something better to do. Like visit family.
Yes.
Visit his childhood home for the very last time.
So that's where he is.
Ah,
So
Darren Cust 2 says, Alan Smethurst, that was the singing postman.
Oh, there you go. That's the first. You got the first answer to the quiz correct, Dylan. I mean, during death. Sorry. So we should probably start with something. We could start with some Leo, but I was going to see if Matt was going to get back on. He's not back on because I'm sure he'd love to talk about Leo. Maybe we'd start with Lindsay because I did threaten to do it earlier, and Clive Wells is itching to do Lindsay. And aren't you, Clive?
I'm
No
going to
answer.
put a clue to my name out there too, hey?
I was about to say, yeah, why don't you put a clue out there?
I will. I'll do that right now.
Yeah. And I'll put this up.
There we go.
Oop, not that one up. People talking about diarrhea. I put that one up. We'll put this one up instead. Okay. Hang on. I'll post the bingo chat to you guys because maybe we can get out of listening to the whole thing.
I've already got the bingo. I've already got my bingo card up.
Oh, good.
I have two.
I grabbed it from the YouTube chat.
You have two? I thought you might have three.
And I'm really happy because I haven't got Kundalini this week.
I do. Oh, do I? No, yeah, I read it. I just reread it. No, I don't. There we go. That's a good one. All right. Here you are. Let's get back to there. I'll get rid of that first. I keep forgetting to pull my bingo out before I turn over. There we go. Oh, okay, let's get going.
Yeah, come on, pull your bingo out and get on with it.
Welcome everybody, welcome to another video on physics. Actual physics concerning our flat earth system.
Oh good, you're not going to
start term of illumination.
Check. Well, that I'm not going to see. Going to start off with bingo. He's not going to talk rubbish. He's going to talk actual physics this time. Okay.
Yeah, but
Get my other
wouldn't
videos
it
if
be
you
a
haven't
good
been there
idea
before.
to let us see it?
No.
Because we aren't seeing it and they aren't seeing it.
Oh. You stop picking on me. There you go. I was seeing it.
Well,
Isn't that important? I could see it. Okay, try again. There you go.
But today I'm going to go through 10.
You should be able to see that. Yeah.
10
Yeah.
undebunkable proofs that you live on a flat earth.
I thought it was talking about 10 there
Not
for
a
a second,
spinning
but I get
ball.
it. 10.
Anybody
Right.
can go and check on these things themselves and verify what I'm saying. They're undebunkable. Pretty strange if you live on a ball, how all these things correlate. So if you haven't seen the flat earth model before, you're new to the channel, that's basically looking down on the earth, small centre north, wider southern field out here, all the way around, because that's what a torus field would look like. Something similar to this.
I have Doris Field.
Centre north in here,
I had
an
field.
expanding field, expanding. As the hyperboloid centre comes out, it expands outward. That's why we have a book called the bi-bull. The bull represents expansion. Bi mean dual, male and female. The whole system's male and female. We could say the strong northern centre, this here, magnetic confinement, very strong, male. Weaker force out here is the female, because it's more widely distributed. Same energy here as there is all the way around here, but per magnetic cycle ratio, this is weaker than in here. It's not what science tells you, is it? So if you put a slice through the flat earth system like that, you come up with something similar to this. This is why the ancients told you it looked like a turtle. But another depiction is like this. If you can imagine you're the observer in every place at once, that would be the even picture you would get.
Oh, say talking on gas.
Okay, like a magnetic flux. The earth is so the earth's a
flux.
magnet, and
Flux.
the flux would be like this shape. So consider Earth as like a ring magnet with the.
Hey, I need a ruling. Can we get southern and northern hemisphere because he's got it written on the board? He hasn't actually said it.
No.
No.
Yes.
Black hole centre, because this is the black hole centre of our realm.
No, I think we have to
Above
hear
the
it.
centre Arctic North.
Black hole.
The metaphysical, we can't get into that area. We're way down, this comes down to nothing. We're way down here, 30,000 feet, could be about here somewhere. But we can't get in there, can't fly over the North Pole.
Yes, you can.
The black hole's here, centre of the gurgler. It's a vortex. Centre.
Says yes. You can tell who's got
So
northern.
check out my earlier videos, but we're going to run over these 10 points here that prove that you live on a flat earth. Stars viewed at night from a ball or a flat earth. While you're standing on your ball, all the stars are all over the place at night. The night sky is infinite, isn't it?
Come in.
What?
It's infinite.
Come in.
So we're on the ball. The night sky isn't the ball. That's not circular. So why are we being shown the circular formation of stars all the time? If you don't understand that, go and check out some time lapse or star trail photography. That's how the stars move across your horizon. Because man stands 90 degrees at the zenith of his arc of horizon, a 180 degree view of his world around him. Everything comes up and over his arc of horizon. Nothing goes below the horizon, it just goes out of perspective. It's gone beyond his visual perspective.
Yeah, just gets out of perspective.
Okay, every man has an
Hasn't
arc of
gone down the
horizon.
shopping
The ancient
board,
Egyptian told us this.
Oh, Egyptian.
So,
Yeah.
this can't happen if you're on a ball. Why would it be curving like that in the night sky? Why would the stars be forming a curve. Just because the ball is rolling and we're passing stars,
Pretty straightforward.
they
Lindsay.
would be shooting out here, wouldn't they?
No.
They're not going up or down on this curve. No, it doesn't make sense.
You can't make that one out.
2, tracking stars. Tracking the stars with a star tracker or equatorial mount. So, do you think an equatorial mount can track a star that goes like that?
Yeah, that's what it does.
No,
Yeah.
it does not. You have to keep adjusting it because the stars don't do that. On our flat earth system, let's concentrate on the southern hemisphere, shall we? If we're going to track a star and it's here, that star
don't have southern hemisphere.
goes out
I thought I did.
and then
We
back
haven't
in.
yet.
It goes like that.
No, I haven't had it.
That
but it's
is
in the
moving
wording,
further away
so-
from the north, isn't it? That's not a nice symmetrical arc over say half the night. Half the night,
because
say.
it doesn't do that, Lindsay.
Let's go half across there. That's not a nice curve. It's a Fibonacci. And equatorial mounts can't do a Fibonacci. They can only do an arc. This is why you cannot track a star completely, especially if you're in the southern hemisphere tracking a star near the solstice, December solstice. Anybody can check this if they understand
We have
astrophotography.
Why haven't you?
The southern stars do this motion all the way around, back to the same place every night. Same place, not same time. Exact same place on Earth every single night since time began. But time-wise, it's different because it's governed by the timekeeper, which is the sun. And the sun moves quicker than all the other celestial bodies. They don't tell you that either, but we won't get into that now because it's a bit too complicated for these
There's a reason
globies.
why they don't tell
Any
you that.
globies are going to be watching this. Okay? Check out a star tracker yourself. 3, 2 sky rotations. How can we have 2 sky rotations? If you're standing on the ball.
There's a bingo.
Oh, you've got to post your link, your bingo link, so I can check there. Bingo.
Yes,
Turing
does.
says he's got it. Okay, give me your 5-letter words, Turing, just to confirm. Oh no, yes, he's done it. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Sun, Taurus field, black hole, southern hemisphere, system. Yay, there you go. Accepted.
Wow.
Well done.
Good.
Well done. Well, there we go. You were sounding a bit, I don't know, a bit under the weather or under the whiskey glass. I wasn't quite sure. Because he wasn't his bright and cheerful self.
Yes, Clive, he definitely said sun. Just after we did the question and answer in the chat.
Yeah. And he also talked about how he couldn't fly North Pole because he was flying over the sun. So yeah, the sun was definitely in there. And I had black holes, so I know that was it. And yes, I remember Southern Hemisphere because I thought I had it, but I didn't. Yes, that sounds good to me. Well, there we go. So, has anyone got your clue yet, Paul?
Yes, of course. Clive.
Clive.
Yeah.
Clive.
It was Emilio Segre. He was the one that decided or realized that the Thin Man nuclear bomb that they were designing at Los Alamos wouldn't work.
All
So
right,
they stopped working on that, and instead they worked on Fat Man.
Hmm. And what was the other one? The one that, because they dropped Fat Man, right? What was the
Little Boy was the other one.
Little Boy.
Right.
Yeah, I had a mental block. Couldn't think of. Yeah.
How was Thin Man supposed to work, Paul?
Thin Man was supposed to be a gun weapon, like Little Boy.
Okay.
Like a modified cannon. The same sort of technique, except the problem with it was that the the plutonium that they were going to use, which was bred in a
Oh.
reactor,
Yeah, you
was
can't do it
contaminated with Pu-240, which is considerably more susceptible to fission than 239, and so they couldn't fire the weapon fast enough to
Right.
stop pre-detonation. Yeah,
Yeah, it was just going to fizzle.
exactly. Yeah, they needed to use what do they call it? Compression, implosion. That's right.
Implosion.
Yeah.
It's an implosion bomb.
Yeah.
That's the only way they do plutonium, I think, now.
Yep, that's right. Well, that's the way most of the bombs work nowadays. So
Yeah.
because it's far more efficient.
Even if they're uranium bombs, they implode them.
Yeah.
Yes, don't think I ever want to see a bomb, a nuclear bomb go off, personally.
No.
Okay, Matt, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah. Only trouble is, I think it might have been vMix that caused me to crash because I can't open vMix right now.
Okay.
So my stream is no longer there anymore.
It says.
I don't know. I'll have to sit down and figure that one out.
It's got a spinning wheel.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is
so
gone.
You mean,
I don't know what's happened to it.
So what are you going to do for the next 22 days?
Think of something else.
22 days to go and you've fallen over. So somehow I think you might have it back up in time before they send.
Yeah, I think I've got a bit of time. I mean, thinking about it, I mean, I was fiddling. I mean, most of the day that I was doing it as kind of like an experiment, sort of like put things together from different websites and things like that. So if I do work it out and I do fix it, I might start it again, maybe like a couple of days before, because at that point it's psoriasis Rex is sort of going to be going within the cislunar space at that point, so start getting a bit more interesting.
I've got what it looks like, but I'd stopped it earlier, so it must have fallen out about.
Yeah, only 12.3 million kilometers left to go. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, I've got another video for you. It's good you're coming back on. Where'd he go?
I didn't escape Lindsay, by the way, because I had it on my phone, so I was listening.
No,
I didn't escape.
Escape. Oh, I had him. Where'd Leo go?
So I suffered just as much as you did. Well, maybe not quite as much.
Well, we didn't live for very long. Which was fine. No, Turing tests came through. So I got a Leo.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I got a comment after this.
Yeah.
I got a comment after this one.
Because some of it.
We need to do it.
Well, Leo.
Yeah, we need to have a Leo bingo as well, because he's just as predictable as Lindsay.
Yeah, we could, but yeah, this is only short. Yeah, go on.
He says something in this that makes me really cross.
Yeah. Hello.
It shouldn't, but it just does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a comment, but I'll play the whole thing first so we can talk about it. So here we go, 5 minutes.
That's really
that's fine.
Down. He's always really soft.
So this is old school NASA footage from the Gemini program, which was essentially the proving ground for the supposed moon landing, which was to follow. It's a short clip. See if you can spot the lost technology here.
That's better.
Which is incredible, if you ask me, with the capabilities they had. We'll watch the clip, then we'll come back, and we'll have a little look at the clip in question on loop. It's ridiculous. But like I say, see if you can spot the obvious problem.
The docking portion of the mission was cancelled when visual inspection of the ATDA confirmed telemetry reports that the docking adapter shroud had not completely separated.
Yep.
Several different rendezvous methods with the ATDA were undertaken and successfully completed.
Now this part is a kind of sequence. This is the rendezvous from above. We're coming down on the ATDA over the Indian Ocean. And so you really know you're moving. Here we we're plunging down from above, and the ATDA is going across over the Indian Ocean. We've just passed the Sahara Desert. We're coming into less than 1,000 feet now.
There's no question that you're really moving at 18,000 miles an hour, and you almost get the feeling, as was mentioned earlier.
So, did you spot the problem? I suspect most of you did. The astronaut had told us he was doing 18,000 miles an hour in his spaceship, attempting to rendezvous with another spaceship, which we can see just on our screen there on the right. And this did make for a very fast, wonderful story. 18,000 miles an hour in a spaceship in 1966. Wonderful stuff. The problem is, when we viewed the footage, we're left with only two choices here. One, some of NASA's lost moon technology involved an incredible braking and accelerating system. As we can see, the spacecraft go from 18,000 miles an hour,
because
as we're about to see as it comes
appears to
back round,
pause in the background.
apply a brake, stop dead, allow the other spacecraft to catch up, and then go from 0 to 18,000 miles an hour straight off the bat.
God.
Incredible
It'd be like
technology.
changing the
See,
direction of
again,
the camera.
lads, we're going too fast.
Yeah, no.
Right, it's caught up. Hit the accelerator. Whee. That is some incredible technology, guys.
What an
Braking from
idiot.
18,000 miles an hour to 0 in 1 second. And then restarting from 0 miles an hour to 18,000 miles an hour in 1 second.
You can even see
incredible
the
stuff.
still moving.
Is this
What an idiot.
lost moon technology that NASA have been telling us about? Or is this the other option?
You can see the
This is
angle
a special
change when you look
effects
at the clouds.
meltdown.
Yeah.
I suspect this is probably balloon footage, and then having a spacecraft like the one on the right here layered in.
Balloon
Problem
footage,
is,
that's
whoever
right.
did the balloon footage and
They
the
didn't
layering
even-
in didn't check the
Back
consistency
in
of the
70s.
balloon flight. And as a result, we get the so-called spacecraft stopping dead. Obviously, this balloon footage has been sped up to give you the impression it's a spacecraft orbiting a scientifically impossible globe Earth. But no spaceship can go from 18,000 miles an hour to 0 in 1 second. Allow a craft
You
to
are
stop
right.
and then go back to
Yeah, he's right about that. Yeah, 100% correct.
Another second.
Smack
Clearly
on.
ridiculous. Clearly
But the only
wonderful
thing he's got
stuff
right.
for a channel like this, because we just love bashing space. In case you're wondering, just before I go, what craft they were attempting to rendezvous with, look
Gina.
at this, Tosh.
I think it's Eugenia.
Besides Houston when we fly.
Yeah, the Gina.
Same thing. This is the reaction control system for the ATDA. That was the same reaction control system that Wally and I had on Gemini 6. It was taken out and reused again.
Gotta be honest, love the old school space stuff. What most of us know as like kind of the Thunderbirds era, Thunderbird style space props and models, and ridiculous claims. And sadly now, lost technology. An accelerating system that enables you to go from 0 to 18,000 miles an hour in a vacuum in just 1 second.
No,
Of
he
course,
has to
not
keep
forgetting
saying
the
that.
braking
Keep saying it.
system.
Keep saying it.
You can go from
Yeah.
18,000 miles
Convince
an
the
hour in a
people, that's
vacuum
Yeah.
to 0
Yeah.
in just another second. Incredible stuff.
Because what he also does, as we all know, he tells people what the problem is before he shows it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's number one. Then he reinforces it several times over. Well, that's all signs of somebody who's not confident and who's lying with what they're saying. They're actually lying.
Well, the other thing that annoys me is the supposed rare footage. I'm pretty sure that it's been around and people have pulled that up before as a problem. It's or possible problem, and been pointed out that no, just the camera changing angle as the spacecraft tilts over.
Something like that, it wouldn't be worth doing a video on it. It really just wouldn't. It's a waste of time. Absolutely. It's just stupid and dumb.
If
I honestly, the more time goes on, I really don't think Leo believes any of this stuff he's putting out. I really don't.
Look, if I put a video up of that and your reaction to it on the screen,
you can have a physical reaction. You can click
I
like.
do that to the team. This is your reaction to Leo's video.
Yeah, just
yeah, it was. Yeah, just do reaction videos. There you go. Something to do.
Yeah.
I could do it again because Taboo did. I don't know what it is with Flip. So this is exactly the same, right? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. A big thanks to Level Earth Observer for first pointing this out. I'll have a link to his channel in the description where you can go and subscribe to his channel.
As well.
I just wanted to make sure that as many people as possible see this important video evidence. This is a small but indisputable proof that NASA lied to us about their space program. A lot of people can see the obvious, that NASA lied about the moon landings. But this confirms, without question,
that you're really moving at 18,000 miles.
On a dime, there is no stealing your money and your soul.
Oh, yeah, same stuff. But, so yes, just copying, same rubbish, no sort of... The thing that gets me is how... Let me just... Whoops, I don't want to watch that. I must have got rid of it. Hang on, go back. Yeah, this one was a little bit better at this.
It's a shame. That
I don't want to listen to him anymore. On these video, you can see when you get to the... Through there? Yeah. You can see when it pauses. And if you watch the clouds, you can see that the angle of orientation the camera is to the cloud changes.
Yeah, it's just a different camera angle.
Yeah.
All right, they actually might be even moving the air, the spacecraft as well.
The entire spacecraft's rotating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's still traveling.
The spacecraft.
It just happens that the angle and the is very similar, so it doesn't appear to be moving much on the ground. That's all.
Yeah,
but it's definitely still moving. Anyway, there you go.
And here's the other thing as well. What he doesn't do is he never sources the links of where he got gets the footage from ever.
Well, someone would have said
it. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be caught out on a lie. That's why, and several people have, including Farmer's Boy, as he did, the other week.
Yeah.
And that's what he relies on. He just relies on people that are not going to do the research and figure it out.
The thing that really annoys me is there was one statement in there when he was talking about them faking it. He can't even use the correct terminology. This was shot in the 60s on film.
Oh, you told have been overlaid.
They would have not have layered anything in. They would have matted it in.
Yeah.
They would have used a mat and matted it in. But no, you can't even get that right. And I know that a lot of analog techniques got carried over to the, they used the same name for the same effect in digital. But but layering is one that didn't get carried over.
No, besides, I've never seen layering in the 60s that would have, or matting in the 60s that was as good as that would have had to be.
Oh, by the way, we've got a naked Kenny in the chat.
Oh, hi, Kenny. Hang on. We can fix that.
Kenny. Do we know Kenny?
Eaton.
Yeah, we know Kenny.
Yeah, we know Kenny.
I don't.
I think I've seen Kenny.
He spends a lot of time in Blue Server.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kenny. Good to see you. Yes. I always get annoyed at the idea that it's just a generational thing. So the people Leo's targeting, of course, don't have any concept that what he's talking about wasn't really possible in the time that these things were filmed. Not to the sort of way they are now. Not as seamlessly as they are now. So I don't think any photographer, any cinematographer in that time could have done a matte or a lay-in that would show that the way that was shown. So
it would be very difficult. I mean, that's like
cost would have been enormous.
Yeah.
I look at all the claims they make about you know, the faking that, you know, for the still images, and I think to myself, yes, I could have done all that in the darkroom, but it would have taken weeks and weeks and weeks and cost phenomenal amounts of money.
Yeah.
For all the time for all the times that you did it and you didn't quite get it right and you had to redo it again.
Yeah. I mean, there's thousands. I mean, okay, you got to think about it, not just Apollo. So thousands of photographs of Apollo, right? I don't know, hundreds of hours of video footage just of Apollo alone. But if you're going to do that with Apollo, with video footage, film, sorry, beg your pardon.
Film.
Okay, sorry, film footage. Beg your pardon. Thank you for correcting me. Film footage
video.
and all the images from Apollo. But you're going to have to do the same with Gemini, and you're going to have to do the same with Mercury, and everything else that revolved around it as well. You're going to have to do all the same with those as well. You know, it's just an impossible feat. You know, wouldn't it be a lot easier just to go to the moon? You know, as the saying goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turns out it was, so that's what they did.
Yeah, that's right.
Russians tried to do it the same, and the Indians have done it the same but cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, not quite the same yet, but you know.
Except without humans.
Yeah, they got at least got there. They haven't got somebody there. They got there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who videoed the landing? Was somebody on the moon? They must have videoed it when on the moon. Who did it?
Yeah. Or the takeoff, of course.
On the takeoff. Yeah.
Oh, that was Apollo
The
17
takeoffs.
takeoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one.
Oh,
the only
they
one
will.
and only. Yeah.
They will tell you each and everything about the takeoff.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. You want to see some more Flat Earth madness? What have I got? I've got QNFE.
Must.
Hang on, I'm just skipping past. I can't stand his intro. Hang on, there we go. All right, let's put that up.
Yeah, there's no limit to the amount of shit that you guys can screw up, though.
No,
SE Montreal's been back on his bandwagon about gyro compasses again.
Oh, is he? Oh, God,
no.
not again.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and the thing he keeps posting, I jacked his ass up in a DM yesterday about it. The thing he keeps posting is pardon me for being rude to the Indian fellows, but there's an Indian guy that goes through talking about gyro compasses, and he actually does a pretty good job. But SE cherry picked out of it the part where he's only talking about a gyroscope, not a gyro compass. And the guy says, yes, we can. Yeah, well, you can make a gyroscope point any direction. Okay, well, yes, you can. Absolutely. It's only when you add some weights and shit to it to put torque on the spin axis that you turn it into a gyro compass.
That's right.
That's right.
God damn.
There's a noise that Radio 1 used to put when somebody got a question wrong, and it's whap whap. You remember that, Alan? Oh dear, wrong.
Yeah, I remember whap whap oops.
We have the ABC do the gubong.
Yeah, gubong.
That's it.
Whatever.
Gubong. When
Oh
we get it
dear,
wrong.
never mind.
That's it. That's a quiz I used to listen to, late night one, and you'd be listening when you got it wrong. It was like, you're wrong, and there was no goodbye or anything. It was just next question, next person. That was it. Gubong. Next person. Yes. Okay.
Anyway.
Let's put on some more madness. So this is QNFE. So sorry about his voice. I cannot do anything about it.
Huh?
This guy. Makes good sense so far.
No, it doesn't.
No, you don't like it?
What about the planets?
Oh.
Oh, that was all. I love cartoon
Oh,
star
man.
trails. These are just Mickey Mouse representations. Our celestial data show a whole different things. The angles to Polaris from, let's say, the 5th latitude are straight lines, and they even become wider with something like a degree.
I don't think they do.
They come wider in 2 different directions. Here is the celestial
What are you
data
talking about?
for the prime meridian on the 5th
know.
latitude north.
Well, we already
And on
know
the
he doesn't
opposite
know what he's
side,
talking
180 degrees. Polaris. On those locations. So here we have the altitude.
What's the point? I don't
For
get
both
it.
locations.
I think you will in a second. Yeah. Not sure he's looking at the right thing, but anyway.
So the altitude between the two is like a half degree. The angles become wider with a half degree. And the azimuth between the two is like 1.2 degrees.
Inwards.
So these angles become wider in these directions with 1.2 degrees. Maybe we should calculate how much miles or light years these lines deviate after 450 light years. Let's use the amount of 1 degree difference and see how much it deviates after 450 light years.
450 light years.
Oh my.
Oh, it deviates 7.8 light years. How many miles and kilometers those 2 lines deviate? Holy crap, that's a lot of millions and billions and trillions, kilometer and miles. 74 trillion kilometer of 46 trillion miles. Trillion and million and gazillion and billion.
Billions and 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 billions.
Side, it's only a ball.
Just before I play any more of his that one. I'm just trying to think what isn't he at 5 degrees? And then he's saying it's 4 degrees up, so it's actually going to be not deviating out, it's going to be deviating in.
394.142 what?
Is it 5 degrees, right?
Yeah, but isn't Polaris like half a degree or so from the actual pole?
Yeah.
So you look at it at the same time from either side of the Earth, there is going to be a difference in angle.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying
Obviously.
is he's saying that it's not. He's taking his diagram. Where's his diagram? So take note. He's doing this at 5 degree, and then it's measuring at less than 5 degree. Which
So one at 0 degrees and one at 180.
Yeah, so one's going in.
And,
but he's showing that
and there will be a bit of a difference in.
Hold on a minute. Go back again to those.
But he's drawing it as a straight line from the equator, not from 5 degrees. So it's already. He's
well, even if he's doing it from 5 degrees, it doesn't matter because Polaris isn't on the
Hold it there a second.
Isn't spot on the pole, is it? It goes around. It's about half a degree off center.
Yeah, I mean, what's his point actually anyway? I mean, he's just calculating the distance of Polaris from the rotational axis. I mean,
Yeah, he's trying to suggest that it's wrong.
He's got nothing to say about it other than, wow, big number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't prove anything for his side of the either. But anyway.
And also, did he say that Polaris was? Did he say 450 light years away?
Yes, and it's not.
Well, I don't think it is. It's more like about 300 or something, isn't it? Give or take.
Polaris thing.
Without even looking it up, I'm sure it's somewhere around about 300, give or take.
I thought it was about 400, but
could be wrong.
Didn't somebody recently come up with we got it wrong and it's not quite where we thought it was?
I think they did, but I can't remember what the without looking, I can't remember what the result of that was.
Depends which.
But I'm sure it was 300 and something, or the lower 300s. I thought at least.
Depends which one it is. So it's which star we're talking about, but it's 333 or 448.
Oh, of course, because it's a trinary system.
It's 5, isn't it? Do this without losing where we're up to. According to almighty Wikipedia.
Well, according to space.com, Polaris is located a distance of 323 light years from Earth, according to a 2012 study. Astrophysical Journal letters, which previously covered space.com. The main star boasts luminosity of 2,500 times the sun, according to J. Kaler, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's saying 323 light years, according to a study that was in 2012. So,
yeah, and Polaris is a triple star system. So,
yeah. Oh, here was the thing about North Star closer than we thought. Hang on.
Yeah.
Scientists studying the North Star Polaris found that it is about 323 light years from the Sun and Earth, subsequently closer than the previous attempt of 434. There you go. So the latest thing is 323. Wasn't far wrong.
Yes.
No.
Not that it really matters to this case anyway.
No, because I think it's right anyway.
No.
Oh yeah, remember from Clive Wells. But the only binary star is Sirius. Marissa taught us that. Remember Marissa?
There's only one binary star. Yeah, it's only Sirius. Only binary star. Yes.
Don't cry, ball tarts. Look at the bright side. It's only a ball.
Always look on the bright side of life.
And what about the sun? I'm here at the prime meridian on the equator on March the 21st. And at the 80 latitude north, also on the prime meridian. And then we have here this sunset at 270.3 degrees with an altitude of 1 and 47 arc minutes.
Yeah.
And here at the 80 latitude north, the azimuth is 268.3 and the altitude is 0.38.7 arc minutes. And if we compare those two, we see an angle difference in altitude of 1 degree, more or less, compared to this 80 degree latitude north. And the azimuth is about 2 degrees difference.
Yes, and what does that mean?
270.3.
No, it's just over 1 degree. What's he talking about?
268.3. So there is 1 degree vertical difference between the two, and 2 degrees difference in the azimuth, horizontal direction. Now let's calculate how much deviation we can find between 6 minutes. Those lines don't originate to one single source. Oh, and they're not even parallel. This trigonometry tells us the celestial data don't fit the globe model.
You didn't draw it up right.
It looks more like each observer. And of course, all the celestial bodies show this behavior when we measure up from 2 locations.
You gotta do it properly.
They all show different, and the angle, they have a difference of a couple of degrees.
Let's see if he says anything else, because it's just the same rubbish. Yeah, what's it on about here? Buzz.
Let's have a look at the damage. Oh, amazing. Look at that, total chaos. Maybe it has some good parts for reuse. We need to call a tow truck.
Just animation stuff.
Look at that mess here. Holy shit. You look flat.
Rubbish, rubbish,
You
rubbish.
see?
That's enough rubbish. You're welcome to go and watch his stuff if you want to see what that was about, but I don't think there's
Hey,
anything exciting in there.
But doesn't that just prove that last shot that you had there? Doesn't that just prove that they can't get anything right? Because look, the elevation of whatever they're looking at is different from all those different places.
Yeah, yeah. And what does that prove? It proves that you're not on a...
Well,
because you do the same thing with the sun, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
No, not actually. What do we do now? Paul, do you have a quiz?
I do.
You do?
You can either choose between a hard maths quiz or a hard general quiz.
Okay, let's do a poll.
What would you like? Peanuts?
We'll put a poll in. Start a poll.
Everybody knows what I'm going to choose.
You want a music quiz?
Yeah.
There's a hard math quiz.
I'm not going to choose a maths quiz.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know you can hear me typing.
Clive Wells maths. Of course, Clive would say that.
Mm.
Yeah, so he's predictable that he's going to say that, so I think he should be discounted. So Clive, you're not allowed to vote in this, okay? So stay out.
Yeah, I think Nerd Alert will probably go with the maths quiz as well, because he's another one of them mathematicians.
50-50. Hard math quiz.
62, 38, 56.
You know I can't vote. It's real annoying. Oh, it's 50-50.
Oh no!
What do you do?
So maybe we do both.
Yeah, we do both.
Oh, come on! Somebody else vote. Somebody else to vote that hasn't, and please vote for the general quiz, please.
I can't vote.
Oh, he went. Oh no! Somebody's messing about. Come on.
Taking a vote in and out.
There you go. It's decided. Oh no! It's not decided.
Let's go on back to math. Hard math quiz.
No way. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, all right. I think that's kind of decided that.
Looks like it's sitting up there in 14 votes for the hard math quiz. 15 votes on 60%.
60% of you are bonkers.
Come on, they're all fun.
They're all fun. There we go.
No.
Hard math spins. There you go, Paul.
Right.
Hang on.
That's it. No, the peanuts have decided.
Let me share, etc. There you go.
All righty. I will share my screen. There
The
we
balls
go.
are not the
Can you
only
see
ones.
Use your hot maths quiz. To change centimeters to meters, you do what? You take out centi, of course.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Bob has
Diabetes.
Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have? Diabetes.
Can't argue with that either.
I like the other one. The first cells in the body were probably lonely.
A kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. How many grams are in 3.5 kilograms? Circle the letter of the correct answer. There he does. Rodney chose D as the correct answer. How did he get that? He does maths like my mum. The first cells were probably lonely. Well, fair call, I reckon. Oh, dear. Okay, let's go to question 1 then.
It would have been funny if they
Question
said they were clonely. But anyway, keep going.
Come on, you'll all know this one. One commentary on this work stated that it brought to irrefragable demonstration the things which were only somewhat loosely proved by its author's predecessors. What was this work?
Euclid.
I need specific answer.
Nasty.
A fragment of this work was recorded on Oxyrhynchus paper, Papyrus 29, and the work was translated from Arabic to Latin by Adelard of Bath.
I don't know which one you want. The first one.
There ain't going to be any of the Greeks then, is it?
Carl Boyer estimated that the only work with more additions than this one was the Bible.
Ostrich.
Yeah, we've got a correct answer out there. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln kept a copy of this work in his saddlebag, and Edna St. Vincent Millay wrote that this work's author alone has looked on Beauty Bear. Identify this seminal geometry treatise consisting of 13 books and written by Euclid. So just saying Euclid wasn't enough. I wanted what, Alan?
I gathered that.
You wanted the elements.
I did indeed. I wanted Euclid's elements.
Yeah.
Well done to Turing Test 2.
Turing Test. Yeah.
Who got it?
All the translated from Arabic kind of threw me from thinking it was going to be one of the Greeks.
Yeah. Well, I know it's Euclid, but I was trying to remember the first element. I was thinking postulates. No, it's not postulates. Anyway,
Okay,
next
question 2. Gelfand's theorem gives conditions for the number a to the power of b to have this property, and the Gelfand-Schneider constant and Champernowne's constant have this property. What property would that be?
Upsetting Matt.
A function has this property if it cannot be written as a finite sequence of addition, multiplication, and root extraction. The level and horizontal property.
I was going to say, transcendental. Transcendence?
Louisville's constant, whose decimal expansion has a 0 in the nth decimal place, unless n is a factorial number, was the first number proven to have this property. We have some people with correct answers out there. The first of which was Nerd Alert, followed closely by Turing Test 2, and then Clive with Transcendental. And I believe Timbo mumbled that too.
Yeah, but I thought it was transcendence. Start again. Transcendence. Transcendental. So.
Yeah. Hermite's theorem established that this property is possessed by E. That should have given it away. Identify this property held by numbers which are not the solution to any polynomial equations. They are the transcendental numbers. Yeah. All right. Question 3. The narrator describes one location in this work by declaring neighbours remained neighbours till death did them part. What is this work? That's just me opening a nice bottle of Prosecco. The presence of fog, which causes faraway objects to appear dimmer, is central to the art of sight recognition in this work. What is this work? One conflict in this work between Pantacyclus and Chromastites leads to the passage of the Universal Colour Bill. What is this work? Come on.
You can't know it.
The protagonist of this work uses the phrase upward, not northward, to attempt to convince his compatriots of the existence of a third dimension.
Flatland? No, maybe not.
Identify this satire of Victorian society by Edward Abbott, which features the protagonist, a square who lives in the titled two-dimensional world.
Oh, yeah,
I believe that Timbo got it. And Turing test 2, Flatland is the correct one. The full title is, of course, Flatland, a romance of many dimensions.
I've never read it. I should do that. I know of its existence.
Question 4. The term cathetus is an Arabic term for certain parts of these objects. An archaic term, sorry, not an Arabic term. Cathetus is an archaic term for certain parts of these objects.
Cathetus.
I need more info, Net Alert. Fermat's theorem about these shapes says that their area cannot be a perfect square unless at least one side has irrational length.
Looks like we might have an answer.
We do have an answer. Well done, Nerd Alert. He qualified his answer and made it more specific, which is what I wanted. The correct answer is, in fact, right triangles. Yeah. Numbers that can be the area of a rational-sided one of these shapes are called congruent.
Might have got there then. Go on.
Polyabolos consist of special cases of these shapes joined at their edges, and one of these shapes is called a primitive if its side lengths are relatively prime. The midpoint of the longest side of one of these shapes is equidistant from all of its vertices. If one of these shapes is inscribed in a circle, then its longest side is a diameter.
There you go.
Yeah. Identify these shapes whose side lengths obey the Pythagoras theorem. Are these things right triangles? Well done, Nerdler.
Yeah, right.
All right, question 5. Question 5, the octahedral group has this order, and the largest Matteo group is designed with this subscript. What is this number?
8.
Do they obey Iggy's theorem? Probably not. The four-dimensional regular polytope with this many cells is self-dual, is constructed of octahedral cells and has no direct three-dimensional analog. Not 16. No. An arrangement of unit spheres in this many dimensions can be constructed using the binary Golay code. Uniquely solves the kissing number problem and is known as the Leech lattice. What number? Brian Stevens, I need you to be a bit more unique than guessing a whole lot of numbers. This number, which is divisible by every positive integer less than its square root, is 1 less than a perfect square and 3 less than a perfect cube.
He says.
Identify this number equal to 4 times
24.
the smallest. Yeah, equal to 4 times the smallest perfect number, as well as itself being equal to 4.
24.
Yeah, 24. 24 is indeed correct. Where's my thing? There it is. 24 was 24. The correct answer. All right, question 6. Dixon names a test for identifying these things, which he says should not be used more than once.
IQ.
IQ?
IQ.
No, unless you're a flat earther.
Low
which
IQ.
You don't have a real lot of that anyway. These things, which come in point, collective, and contextual varieties, can be detected by Grubb's test. I'm doing a Riley here. Okay. Chauvenet names a criterion for determining whether these things should be taken into account, and an earlier criterion for that is named for Pierce.
Outliers? Oh, sorry. Turing got there first.
Turing did get that first. It's outliers. Well done. Yes. 2 methods for dealing with these things are trimming and Windsorizing. The median is preferred to the mean for determining central tendencies because it is less affected by these. Yeah. Identify these data points which are far away from the rest of the data in a data set. These ones matter. Those ones are far away.
Birth data.
Perspective data.
Yeah. That's outliers. Yeah. All right, question 7. Pencil and paper ready.
Okay.
Uh-oh. This number represents the expected value of the determinant of a 5x5 matrix, in which every element is randomly chosen from the set -1, 0, 1. If Alice and Bob each draw cards from, I think it's 5 cards from a deck of 10 cards numbered 1 through 10, this number represents the number of distinct ways that their decks can sum to the same number. If dice are constructed in the shape of each platonic solid and their faces are numbered in ascending order starting with 1, this is the number of ways to roll a 5 on every die.
No, not 0.
Identify this number, the probability of rolling a sum of 13 with 2 standard dice. Come on, that makes it easy. And we had an answer out there from Turing Test 2. They got it first correct, followed by Brian Stevens. It is 0.
0.
Yeah, because the first of the platonic solids is a tetrahedron, which only has 4 sides. So you can't even put the number 5 on it. So you could never roll a 5 with that.
No.
0.
0.
All right.
So we give that answer.
Question 8. More pencil and paper ready. The area of a regular pentagon with this side length is 5 on the 4th root of 5 minus root 5. This is the only real solution to the equation f of x equals x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1, or 0 equals that. All right. So what is the only real solution to that equation? The integral from 0 to this quantity of root x is equal to 2/3. Whatever Clive said. This quantity times pi is equal to the surface area of the sphere x squared plus y squared plus z squared equals 1/4. And it is equal to the eccentricity of a parabola. I think you've all got it right out there. It is indeed 1. A triangle with vertices at the origin, 0, 2, and 1, 2, has area equal to this number. This number is the determinant of the matrix 4, 1, 3, 1. Identify this number, the only non-zero solution to the equation x squared equals x. It is that number, 1. Well done. See, it's not that hard after all. Question 9. The Lucas correspondence relates the Hanoi graph to a graph derived from this object. One early reference to this object called it the staircase of Mount Meru, and in some countries this object is alternately named for Yanghui or Kaiyan. If part of this object is represented as a matrix, the determinant of that matrix will be 1. The diagonals of this object contain the figurate numbers of simplices with progressively higher dimension. This notably includes the triangular numbers. This object's entries correspond to coefficients of binomials. Identify this object in which every number is the sum of the 2 numbers above it. Now we've got the answers coming. What was that?
It's called. I know what it looks like. I just don't know what it's called. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Nerd Alert and Clive Wells and Turing Test 2 all got it out there with Pascal's triangle. That thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And your last question.
It's like cubic.
This quantity is equal to the double integral of square root of EG minus f squared, where E, F, and G are the coefficients of the first fundamental form squared.
I'll take your word for it.
This quantity is equal to the integral of the norm of T sub U cross T sub V. The value of this quantity for a zone is equal to 2 pi RH. For a cone, it's supposed to be, not zone. and for an oblate spheroid, it is 2 pi a squared plus C squared on E, natural log of 1 plus E on 1 minus E. This quantity is notably infinite for the shape created by revolving the curve y equals 1 on x about the y-axis. That shape is known as Gabriel's horn.
Surface area? Yeah.
This quantity is the derivative of volume with respect to the in radius of many symmetric shapes. Identify this property of a three-dimensional shape. Yeah. Which for cubes is equal to 6 times the edge length squared. It is indeed, as Clive said, the surface area. Yeah.
Oh, it's graphic.
Yeah. Good graphic, that.
Hmm.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay, surface area. Well done. Thanks, there, Paul.
And that is your test,
Matt,
or your quiz for today.
Matt, you can come back now.
It wasn't that too hard.
I do have a different quiz later. Thanks for that. Yeah, I can give you a choice. We can put on something else.
Is it safe to come out now?
It is, yes.
It is safe to come out, yeah, Matt.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
You're safe from the quiz.
The big bad quiz won't hurt you anymore, Matt.
but I was going to put on some Gary.
Oh, that might hurt us.
Yeah,
that would.
Gary,
some Gary Wybother.
Yeah, he's posted a few times lately. I haven't seen.
You need on this show. You need to balance out the ratio of loss of brain cells to the gain of brain cells ratio.
We're kind of like bipolar, are we, Matt? We go from Lindsay to
yeah. So I'm kind of going to be going to negative numbers right now.
Anyway, let's go on.
I was going to say I'd noticed that Gary's been chucking up links to videos in Blue Server, but are they new videos or are they just old ones? Because they look mildly familiar. I just haven't had the to click on the damn links.
This is
is this a Gary?
This is a Gary. This one is.
I respect my brain cells too much.
This is EQ mount is flat Earth evidence. So.
Oh really? Really?
You'll have to tell me if this is an old one or not. But here you go. Let's play.
Oh, is this somebody else has never used an EQ mount as well? Really? Oh, probably.
Well, he's as good as Lindsay. Lindsay was telling us how an EQ mount only works.
No, he's
Okay,
one
here
either.
we go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm making this diagram. I formed a line down here on the ground. This one would be the sky. We'll just say the sun, even though it's way bigger than what the sun would be. Now each of these angles is 15, or what did I make it? 10 degrees. So here's straight up. Now if my lines aren't perfectly straight, who cares? But we'll say that's straight up, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. Now I do the same thing over here. There's 10 degrees, there's 10 degrees. So what we're going to see is the observers down here. So each part of this sky contains different, or of the angles contains different amounts of actual sky. Here you got 10 and 10. They're straight up above you. You know, 10 to the side, 10 to this side. And you got the width of a little over 2 of my suns right there. Now farther down over here, I can get about 4.5 in there. Still 20 degrees down here to me. Just like this is 20 degrees. But because in the flat earth model, or at least my version of it, the sky and everything in it is moving parallel to the plane of the earth down here, the ground. Now this, because there's way more distance in that 20 degrees of total space, it's going to take the sun, if it's moving across the sky, much longer to get through that space than it does this little space.
In reality,
now this is the reason why the EQ mount fails and begins to track inaccurately the sun or anything else as they go towards the horizon. The EQ mount is basically set on a timer, 15 degrees per hour, right? So it's just continuously going. It's not slowing down for anything. It's just going to go in this, like this arc right here at 15 degrees per hour. So because there's actually much further space to go through here, the sun is going to seem to be hanging up. Now the globe earthers, you know, the Wolfies and the Bob the Science guys and NASA shrills and guys like that will say it's because of refraction. And I believe Wolfie said it can be up to 1.5 degrees. And so they'll actually end up telling you that the sun actually has gone down, but we're seeing it refracted back up. So that's their magical potion to explain why the sun hangs up and the EQ mount keeps on arcing down as if the sun went down when it's still up. Well, it's because of these foreshortened angles. The sky, it's a lot more sky contained in those 20 degrees than the amount of sky in these 20 degrees. That's a foreshortening effect when the angles become more.
But they're talking about 1 degree or so at the horizon, not
Yeah.
10 degrees.
So for 95% of the rest of the sky, the EQ mount tracks perfectly well. Just that last few percent close to the horizon, it fails. So no, you're wrong, Gary, because if that was the case for what you were talking about, the EQ mount wouldn't track over the whole sky.
Yeah, you get
but
up
it does.
Yeah, well, shows how your sun gets down to the horizon, Gary.
Yeah.
For a start, yeah. Because looking at this one,
and also you could just leave the EQ mount running for 24 hours and see whether the you know, from say noon, and see whether it's still pointing at the sun the next noon.
Oh, I know a guy that did that. His name is Wolfie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tracked the sun all the way around.
I know.
And was
But,
perfectly
yeah,
tracking it the next morning.
Yeah. Well, once it's got up above the horizon.
Yeah, yep.
so he's wrong already. So I haven't watched this, so I don't know what he's going to go on to say or if he's going to say anything confused. But even his diagram, he's showing about 45 degrees. So in that space, it doesn't do that. So he's already wrong.
Or acute down here, it gets worse and worse. And that's why when they track stars and stuff and planets and all the other things for astrophotography, they prefer to stay more in the middle part of the sky, you know, the high points, because there's less change.
No, Gary.
And so they can get their pictures. They don't track from horizon to horizon. Now, I remember when all these guys, back when I first became a flat earther, they would say, guys like Wolfie, that an EQ mount proves the globe because it can track on a one-axis rotation from horizon to horizon. In fact, they said it can go all the way back around and still be on track. Well, we don't see that. And Wolfie and Bob actually did a video explaining the problems with the EQ mount near the horizons. Of course, then they say that they have a fix for it, and it's called the King's rate. All the King's rate is an adjustment in the rotational speed. So instead of rotating at 15 degrees per hour, it slows down because that's the only way it can track the sun from one end to the other. It can't do it at 15 degrees per hour because the Earth is flat. It's not a globe. The EQ mount was designed for a globe, but it fails at the horizons, just as predicted by a flat Earth where the sky is moving parallel, like my model right here. Now I'm going to show you one more thing here, why we can get 69 miles per degree angle measurements. Well, that's because the same reason here. Just take this thing. Let's say we're on the flat Earth, the flat sky going across, and I just take, all I do is just take this point and move it. Now all those angles, now the straight up would be here, the 10 and 10, and same thing over there, they're always going to be covering the same amount of sky. So So basically all you have to do is, it's a perspective angle. You just take it from your, we're going to pretend that this is all sea level, by the way, down here. This is all sea level. So as you move, these angles will all cover the same amount of total sky as they do right here. I just moved them further towards the left.
They're not covering
They always cover the same amount. So all you do is just move, take your measurements every mile if you have to, or do it every 5 miles. Take a reading, because now the reading is from the new point. It would be instead of right here, you know, now it's over here, but it's straight up, and those are now pointing over here somewhere. And so you're going to end up always, whatever amount of miles you end up measuring that it takes to drop, like Polaris, 1 degree, that's how you're going to get it. You're not taking just an initial line up and down, say this is Polaris, and 10, 10, 10, 10, because those are going to become longer and longer in each section. And so it wouldn't work. But when you're actually taking your measurements from your position, it does work. And that's how you'll always end up with the same amount of miles per degree. So anyhow, this solves both problems.
Jerry.
All this is predictable. You can see it, and it predicts everything that the globe says can't be predicted by a flat Earth model. They say we can't prove the 69 miles per degree, and that only refraction can make the sun seem to stay up longer than what the EQ mount wants to stay up for. So anyhow, those are two of their arguments shot to.
Sorry, Gary, you're wrong.
Yes. Prove it. It's sort of, it's changing angle as you travel, but he's waiting for it to get to the angle he wants it to be. There's a Gary. I do have another Gary. You want to have another Gary? I forget what the other one's on.
I think the funniest gaffe of the week, though, was Flatsoid thinking that the delta symbol meant that there were triangles in the equation.
What?
Yeah, Flatsoid, trying to explain celestial navigation, saw the delta symbol in an equation and thought that it meant triangle.
Oh no!
Did indeed.
Yeah.
I have 2 links from Gary, and they appear to be the same video. So there's that video.
And then there's one that he shot in the cow barn, which is why I thought it was an old one, because I remember him shooting something in a cow barn, talking about perspective in the past.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Lake Pontchartrain.
Oh no, that wasn't the one I was thinking of.
How long is this one? 11 minutes. I'll have to speed this one up. Because I couldn't listen to him at normal speed. Okay. Let me go back a little bit. I was trying to find that link for Flatsoid. We might have a look after this.
It's on MC Tunes channel.
Yeah, I've got a link there. Yeah.
Compression from
extreme
zoom.
Yeah, you remember?
I've just DM'd you in the Zoom the link to the other one that Gary posted in Blue's Discord channel.
I got that.
Which is why I thought it was an old one, because I remember seeing him filming that sort of stuff in that barn in the past.
Well, I'm speeding this up because he doesn't really say anything, but and we can skip the last bit of it.
No, zoom through a telescope. Or a telescope, yeah. I mean, I thought it was the theodolite, but yeah, there's a couple of them through the theodolite with the little Tinsus Bayou. Yeah, and it changes a lot of how much curve you're going to see when you zoom it like that.
Absolutely. I mean, you can tell right here, just looking at these huts, they start getting closer together just on hut number 4 right here.
Why do they appear to be getting closer? It's called foreshortening effect. It's when your angle to a surface becomes more and more narrow in the distance. So the visual information is compressed into increasingly smaller space in the observer's field of view. That's why, even though those are equal distance, because of the angle, it's like looking at the top of a building from the bottom. You know, the information at the top, you can't tell how many stories there are if it's a really tall high-rise, because all that information is foreshortened into too small of a space for you to identify them all. So it's the same thing with this.
Shape.
So that's what perspective does. You know, the distance between objects gets shorter and shorter and shorter further away they are, just due to perspective.
Compression.
Which results in this.
Now, I want you
and you know, a lot of people were asking.
I want you guys to notice a few things on here first. First of all, know the extreme humps. And you're going to hear him talk about it in a little bit. Now, he's going to call it perspective, but it's not. You don't see things like that at all. Perspective doesn't compress something to the point where it makes it look like you're going up the Matterhorn. And by the way, look at the cars. Look at the cars on the bridge. The cars coming towards you are look like they're slightly sideways. The front end is to the left, or to its right. And the same with the cars going away. Their front end looks like it's going off towards the right a little bit. It's like sidewinding or drifting. Drifting is when cars are going around the curves on the racetrack, just in case some of you don't know. And then also notice the foreshortening in here with those little huts or whatever they are on the left side of the bridge. They're getting closer and closer together, and the natural slant that normally would take place with natural perspective becomes all screwed up because of the extreme zoom compression, just like those humps are extreme. So is the horizon in this, because it's affecting everything that's viewed in this picture. So anyhow, I was saying about the huts. Look how they get closer and closer together in the distance because of the angle, and they're compressed closer and closer to each other, which takes away the natural slant that you would see with natural perspective. Instead, it makes it, because it pushes them up close to each other, it makes it look like a curve because of the extreme compression of extreme zoom. So anyhow, I've got more than one little bit of evidence in this little short clip. The extreme humps at the marine span, and these other ones I'm not sure what they are. But you're going to hear Stanley talk about them here in a minute. And the cars drifting sideways. And I'll show you another clip of one of his videos that really shows it.
It's going to be kindly for context. But there are also, of course, the naysayers that were saying it's too curved, which is ridiculous whenever you look at Walter's models, which predict this observation.
Well, it is too
But
curved.
there's also the naysayers that say it's...
It is too curved. Here's a fact. From curvature of Earth, we live on a tiny little ball. I mean tiny. Look at that. You know something's wrong here. This is not natural perspective.
fake, which can be discounted right off because you can simply go to the Marriott and take this picture. And, you know, it really is something that in...
You can't just take the picture. You need a telescope, and you have to get the right angles to the bridge, a little bit higher and offset to the side somewhat. So you'll get that foreshortening you see at the far end that he was showing you earlier. You're going to get all those effects, and he knows it. And I think he figured it out. I think that's why you don't hear him anymore.
Unless you look at it a lot, it's foreign the first time you see something at that high of a magnification and see perspective playing on the curve.
Extreme zoom is not perspective. It's pseudo perspective.
But I mean, that's reality. And another thing I want to point out is a lot of people talk about lens compression. It's misnamed. I don't know why anybody ever started referring to it as lens compression, because it has nothing to do with the lens. It's perspective compression.
Did you hear that? It's perspective compression. How many times have I talked about perspective compression? And all the globies get in the chats and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm making stuff up. It's perspective compression, and this is extreme perspective compression, or pseudo
That's right. He doesn't know what to do.
compression perspective.
That is really what it is. You're looking at compression due to perspective, and the lens just
Foreshortening and compression are part of natural viewing, but this is never what you'd see. This is only a function of extreme zoom.
is it enough for you to be able to photograph it and see it. You can see the same thing through a rifle scope, really.
Absolutely. To just wrap your head around that whole thing, when you're driving on that, each one of those signs is a tenth of a mile apart. Those little tiny signs to the side of the road, that's a tenth of a mile. And when you're driving over that thing that looks like a huge hill in the middle,
right?
That's a gentle rise and a gentle fall while you're driving on it.
Right.
You heard him. A gentle rise and a gentle fall. They're not little Matterhorns.
Yeah.
I also wish they would stop saying the word zoom when they actually mean high magnification.
Yeah, that annoys me as well. Yeah, really does annoy me.
Because you can't have zoom at one part of the picture and not zoom at the other part of the picture. High magnification.
I mean, I have 2 zoom lenses for my camera. One of them is a 4 times zoom. The other one is an 11 times zoom. Which one has the most magnification?
Depends what the lens is.
I'll put you out of the misery. The 4 times zoom has twice maximum focal length. The 4 times zoom has twice the magnification of the 11 times zoom.
I think he's just going to go on about the same stuff. I think it goes up to Betty. And then he just shows pictures for some reason. Okay, we get it. Gary's an idiot.
Going back to when he was talking about equatorial mount, things like that. I remember having a conversation with him. This is going way back now, to be honest with you. And at that point, I didn't even have a telescope, but I'd already researched what I needed to set up an EQ mount because I wanted to know how they work. So I asked him. I said,
sorry.
Oh.
I thought I'd pause that. So, okay.
So I asked him. I said, "Well, how do you set up an EQ mount?" And he said, "It doesn't matter." I said, "Really?" I said, "So what are the two most important things you need to figure out before you set a EQ mount?" It doesn't matter, he says. Yeah, it kind of does matter. You're going to need to know your latitude. You're going to need to know which way north is to start with. If you don't know what your latitude is, it's not going to track, is it? You know. So yeah, I mean, he's never touched an EQ mount ever.
Nah,
he still hasn't. I don't think.
Probably doesn't.
He still
even know
talks
how
about
work.
it.
Well, it's quite clear from what he was saying there. He didn't understand it. You know, they were saying, "Oh, it's only the last 1 or 2 degrees near the horizon. It's a problem." But he's saying, "Oh, it's 45 degrees in his picture." So, no
nonsense.
Let's play some Everett. Just for a little hilarity.
Timbo, I sent you a timestamped link in the chat of the flat-side triangle faux pas.
We'll pull that up. We'll do that after this.
Yep.
I don't care what y'all think of me. The Earth is flat. It is a flat
Hang on a sec.
Earth.
Let's go back to. Okay. Try again.
I don't care what y'all think of me. The Earth is flat. It is a flat Earth.
This is the end of the banister.
Can't see it.
Oh, and meet my wall. What's that, Jake? You say, how do you get out? Well, how about the door?
No, please don't.
Oh, don't worry about it.
And they got pillars under the earth that hold the flatness up. And they got the hell that's in the pillars. And then they got the waters around it all with the firmament and the heavens above it. Look at me crazy. I don't care.
What do you think, Dr. Leinbach?
What do I think? Well, I think that the boy has obsessive juvenile fantasies coupled with an overstimulated psyche.
I'm for Jesus, not for the world.
Well, what should we do, Dr. Leinbach?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is to get him to a doctor.
Well, that's why I called you.
Yeah, now let me see if I can think of somebody. Wait a minute. What are we doing here? I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor.
There's a reason why your whole life you've been programmed to believe the earth is a ball floating in space, going around the sun, when really the sun's going around the earth. And it's not far, far away. The sun is just a light.
Fired.
But I...
I'm about to show you, and all my proof to back it up with the Bible. This is the Christian belief for the Bible.
I'll be right back.
The world has been set upon these pillars. These pillars are the foundations of the earth. It holds the earth up.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Bye-bye.
Holds it up from what?
There's nothing to get. Bye-bye.
The world is sitting still and it's not to be moved. Like, it's not floating around in space.
Hi, what are you listening to?
Hits from the 70s.
Whoa, the 70s. I love the 70s. Aw, bye-bye. Say bye. Bye-bye. Do the bye-bye. Do the bye-bye. That's the way, bye-bye, I like it. Okay.
God literally got me up out of my bed, and I don't wake up early. But God said the people's blood will be on your hands.
When you're hungry for a corn dog, a midget with a butcher knife doesn't dance, does he?
When you're hungry.
I'm not hungry for a corn dog. I'm not hungry for a corn dog.
The government is lying to you.
Right, and on with the pixie hats! And order in the skating vicar! And anything goes in, anything goes out.
They are lying to you. They are saying that there's aliens here. But these aliens are really demons, and they're trying to deceive you so they can have a fake alien invasion and take mass control of the population.
Meanwhile, in Washington, at the headquarters of FEAR, the Federal Egg Answering Room, in reality a front name for FEEBLE, the Free World Extra-Earthly Bodies Location and Extermination Center, all was not well.
Good God! Get me the Supreme Commander of Land, Sea, and Air Forces, immediately!
Alright, looks like a normal painting, right? Until you see bro in the background looking up at the thing in the sky. Bro's like, yo, is anybody else seeing this? Them telling you that aliens are real are just the first step of the Illuminati's, the fallen angels, start for Project Bluebeam.
Oh, darn, Bill, it's so late, I thought that'd be open. There you go.
Yeah, I don't think they said that there was I found aliens. I thought they said that there was no reason for them to change their opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The government have told us that we've been visited by aliens. I thought, have we?
I don't think they did.
A lot of ways as well as I say, the government. Which one?
Yeah, this was the U.S. Senate, I think, is what he's referring to. I don't know, maybe.
The government are lying to you. Okay, yeah, which one's lying to me?
Because, yes, they did their inquiry and they've decided that, no, we may not have told everybody everything we know, but there's still no evidence.
Oh, and the pillars are holding up the earth. Holding them up from what?
Yes.
On what? What the pillars sitting on?
What the pillars sitting on is my question.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, just got that just before you. Yeah, exactly.
Now, anyway, I'll put this in.
Oh, they're special magic infinite pillars.
Yes. Here we go. We're going to listen to some Platzoid.
Flats.
Effect in the atmosphere. The atmosphere of the Earth bends the light coming from the sun. The sun might be below the horizon, but the atmosphere will bend the sunlight so that you still see it. Just like the dip, this makes the altitude seem larger than it actually is. The amount of bending depends on the atmospheric pressure, the temperature, and your altitude. A good approximation for this error is, and then it gives us formula there. And it gives us, P is the pressure.
The triangle. Ooh, the triangle is
Where?
called the delta and the minutes of arc.
What? What triangle?
It says
What?
there, the triangle on screen.
Uh-huh.
So it's using a triangle.
No, it's called, it's delta. It's the Greek letter delta.
Yeah.
It's giving,
What's
it's
delta?
giving for people that don't understand the Greek letter delta, like apparently you
no, I
don't.
know what delta
It's
is.
just saying delta. It's saying this little triangle here is the Greek letter delta.
Yes, it does. But what is delta in the specific reason?
The difference in angle because of the refraction.
So straight lines then.
Oh my
and you're
gosh.
claiming to
Oh my gosh.
The difference in angle is straight lines.
How
is
is
it not?
this so hard? Oh my gosh. No, the difference in angle is an angle. It's still an angle.
You require straight lines to have that angular reading, McToon.
Yeah, tangent at a point. Oh my
And
gosh.
by the way, I also got another question for you.
Javardo, you nailed
take-
it. Hold on, I gotta scroll back to see what Javardo
No,
said.
no, I want to ask
Hold
you a
on.
question.
Hold on.
So answer me something. Refraction. Does that
You want to
correction come after you've taken your angular reading or before?
Of course, you can't do it before. Yeah, he says it called this.
So you measure. So you
I
measure.
predicted. Watch this. Javardo says I predicted that he was going to say the delta stuff. Absolutely. Just because it's the shape of a triangle, he thinks that there's a triangle there. There's no triangle.
No, I was
delta
pointing
means a change. That's why they use it, the Greek letter. It's hilarious. I love it.
You see, this is why I call this guy dishonest. I was trying to point out, as in delta, the triangle, as in
it's not a triangle.
Steps triangle.
No, it's no triangle involved. There's no triangle. It's just the Greek letter delta.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What's delta?
It's a change in something. That's what delta means in math. Change in angle.
Context.
Change in angle.
In this context, change in
delta
angle.
sign means triangle.
No, change in angle, not change in line. Change in angle.
Angle is a line.
No, it's not. No, it's not. An angle is an angle.
It's a separation. It's a separation between two straight lines.
Yes, tangent at a point. I got it right here. Same thing right there. Tangent at a point.
Sorry, does that look like Earth to you?
No, I'm just giving you a little geometry lesson, Flatside here.
No,
you can take an angle that's tangent to a point. Oh my gosh.
The guy that says to me you can have bent rays being straight.
No.
He's trying to
the rays are bent, but at that point you can use the tangent.
So again, you do the angular measurement first, which is straight lines.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Requires straight lines.
And then you apply the formula.
Correct.
And then you apply the formula on screen.
Correct. Then you correct for bent.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't get an angular reading if it's bent, McToon.
Of course you can.
You can't
right
get
here.
an
This
angular
is how you,
reading
that's
if
how you
it's
do it.
bent, McToon.
Right there. Theta. The theta, that's an angular reading right there. Not hard at all. This isn't a challenge at all. I mean, it's not calculus even. I mean, you can do this mathematically through calculus, but I mean, I just do this draw, and then you can actually just put a protractor on here and measure that angle.
Protractor using straight lines.
Yeah, at that point, there's a tangent at that point. The fact, and again, that's why I brought this diagram up at the beginning. The fact that there is a line ED that is straight does not change the fact that circle A is a circle. ED is tangent at point C. You can measure an angle to line ED. That does not change that the circle is a circle.
Do you mind me quickly sharing my screen again?
Oh, do. I will. This is great. Okay, go ahead.
I can't believe this guy. Anyway, what's this? This would be your sphere, okay? For instance. Now we're going to take an angular reading. Well, first we have to have a zenith. Do you agree with that? Correct?
Yeah, go ahead. Zenith. That's a nice zenith. Yeah.
This would be a 90. Okay, now we need to have our...
Actually, I like using zenith as 0. Let's do that.
Whatever, okay.
I find it easier.
We got now your horizon. This would be a sensible horizon where you're standing and looking out.
Okay.
Got that?
Okay.
We got a problem for you already, by the way. Okay. We got the star here. And I'm going to take a angular reading to the star.
Okay.
So this would be the one line, and this would be the second line, correct?
No.
So this would be an angular reading.
No. You can't measure to that because that's not what you see. Can you move the circle down a little bit? Can you move the circle down or the oval? Can you move that a little bit, or is it stuck? Is it an object, or can you move it?
It's supposed to be the Earth you're standing on.
But you're a little bit above it. Can you? So I know it's out of scale.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Can you move the? But can you move the oval? Oh yeah. So then you're gonna have to measure down to 3. You got to draw a third line that's below 2.
That's still gonna come. Now,
but how did you measure? How did you measure to angle 2? Because you can't see that. All you can see is 3, which you didn't draw.
That's your horizontal baseline. 2 is your horizontal baseline.
But you don't. But that's not what you see. Yeah, but that's not what you see. You don't see it.
Sorry, 3 comes afterwards with correction. When you do height of eye correction, that's where 3 comes into account.
Okay,
correct?
let's see it. Let's see it. This is gonna be good.
Now we've done a reading, correct? With 2 straight lines to the star. No. So that's not an angular reading.
You have one curved line to the star and one curved line to the horizon.
Show me the curved line.
That'd be line number 1 is slightly curved.
But what's an angle, McToon?
Yeah, at a point, it's an angle between two lines at a point. But that doesn't mean that
So
the path of light
here's
had
the
to be
only
straight.
point.
But that,
Here's
that
the-
does
here's
not
the- here's the
that
only
does
point.
not mean that the path of the light had to be straight in order to get there to measure the angle.
Oh yes, an angle is two straight lines. So here's
Yeah,
your
but
vertex.
but it does not mean.
Here's your point.
But
Here's
let
your
me
point.
say it
This
again.
Is C. This is remember. This is C that you put there.
It
Now, tell me, how did I get this angular reading from C? So it's from the Earth to
Yeah.
the star,
Okay.
correct? According to you.
It's at a point. You're just at a point C. It doesn't matter where the point is.
That's the vertex because
Yeah,
here's
yep,
the
that's
one
correct.
line, the second line.
Correct. That's a vertex. Good job. But it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't have to be on the surface of the Earth. It could be anywhere above the surface, in fact.
I agree.
Okay.
Because your sensible horizon is your horizontal reference plane. Correct. You get that? Now,
Yeah,
notice
it's
that-
yeah. What you're talking about is tangent at that point, right?
Okay. So now we measured our angle. We're gonna just say 50 again. It's not to scale, obviously,
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Say 50 at 90. And what does that make internally? 40.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
So that means that to have our 90, it would just have the same 40 and it would have 50. Because it just corrects it. Okay. Now, what do we have in common here with these angles?
They're all degrees. They're all in degrees. None of them are in radians. They're all multiples of 10.
Right.
They all use the same font.
Great. Okay. So you would agree that all the degree measurements, degrees, come from the straight line measurements.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, the path that the light got there. The path that the light got to your eye does not have to be straight.
Why? What's an angular reading again?
It's instantaneous, like I said, just at that point, but it doesn't mean that it has no bearing on the path that the light took.
The only tangent here is you on the ship on the surface of Earth, correct?
Well, it's not something you see, of course.
So that's the only tangent then. And what is the other?
No,
half of the
there's another
tangent? What's the half of a tangent?
Hold on,
Would it be a straight line?
Well, the half of a tangent is just tan, or the last half would be gent, or actually the G gets split in half, so it'd be like tang, and then gent. But I can't only half pronounce G. I can only wholly pronounce G. So it makes like G's got to get borrowed, kind of like a valence electron, you know. So can I call it tang? Hold on, half of a tangent is tang, and the other half of the tangent is gent. How about that?
Great. Okay, so we got a single tangent, aka us on the boat, on the ship, on the ocean, correct? And what is a tangent? It's a straight line touching at a point.
At that point, yes.
On a curve. Okay, great.
Absolutely, at that point, yeah. But now I want to be clear. There's two. I just want to say. Hold on. Can I back up just one thing? There are two tangents to curves at this point here. I'll come back to that if you need.
So that straight line is the other arm for the angular reading of the star, correct?
The other arm?
Yes.
There's
arm 1 and arm 2.
There's no arms. What are you talking about? Arms.
An angle is two arms, two straight rays.
Two lines? You mean? Else, how about
Arm
lines?
one.
We don't
The
need to.
hypotenuse.
We don't need to.
Hypotenuse.
Yeah, but we don't need to anthropomorphize these angles, right?
No, it sounds to me like you're trying to run away from an angle here.
No, I'm just saying that why are you using the word arm?
Because it's trying to make it to understand it's like two straight arms, not curved arms.
Lines. How about let's just use the word
Straight.
lines? But
Right,
lines is a
lines.
great word. Yes.
Okay, so that straight line going to the star cannot give an angular reading if it was bent.
Wrong.
Correct?
You can give an angular reading even if it was bent.
Okay. So the tangent, can the tangent be a curved line?
The tangent is a straight line to a curved
Great.
surface.
So
yeah,
two
it's tangent at a point on the curve.
And round and round and round and round.
That's probably enough anyway, Timbo.
Yeah.
You get the point that Flatsoid knows nothing about this anyway.
No. I know when I was listening, and I think I was way back here, something rather. Might be about here. He's talking about.
Do you know how discrete cosine transforms?
But you see.
And if Flatsoid says that
you're literally throwing away.
Angles are a linear measurement.
Yeah.
They're not linear measurements, they're an angle measurement.
Oh, I'll tell you what, when Tim brought up the discrete cosine transform, that really gave me bad flashbacks to university. Because I actually had to write a DCT in C.
All right, yeah.
As part of my digital signal processing course. So that we could implement this, so that we could implement the original GSM encoding.
Sorry, excuse me.
On a computer.
Yes. So I can understand. Just grab a drink in a second.
I mean, it at least it wasn't as bad as having to implement an FFT.
Yes.
Something a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Less stressful.
Less stressful. Yes.
Well, I remember, folks, Delta X really means triangle X.
Triangle X. Yes. Yes. Well, Flatsoid is a wealth of mathematical knowledge, isn't it?
It could have been worse. He could have used a lowercase Greek delta.
Or turn that triangle upside down.
Yeah. I was just about to say, Blue, if he does a physics course, then Nabla means upside down triangle.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, I've got my own little quiz.
I'm sure Flatzoid can handle a little field theory, huh?
The field theory.
Yeah.
No, he can't. Okay, you ready for a quiz? One of my quizzes. So I'll do something different tonight. I have some science quotes. And a bit like Paul's music quiz, you have to try and work out you have to try and work out what the science quote was. So, science is a wonderful thing, said Albert Einstein. Coming through? Yep. So what was the rest of the quote? Oh, that's a bit of a clue. And yeah, science is a wonderful thing. Nothing from that one?
Cool.
Put some more letters in there.
Have to earn one's living at it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. If you don't have to earn one's living at it. There you go. That gives you a bit of a taste of the sort of quotes I'm going to be using. Let's see how many Clive gets this one. It's Finnish quotes. Yes, they're in Finnish. Next. The difference between screwing around and science Any idea, Clive? Come on, just bring up your finish. You should know. No one knows this quote. It's by Adam Savage.
I'm gonna say I've heard it, but I can't remember the other half of it.
And I haven't given you much of the way of clues. There you go. Science is a wonderful thing. No one knows. Right, there he is. Turing test got it. And science is writing it down. Just got that one?
Oh, come on, everyone knows this one, surely.
Only two things are infinite. Don't trust Timbo to spell it right. No. I think by now though I wrote a program because doing those I might make look on the screen pretty easy, but I've got to make about 3 different panels to get it to switch from one thing to another. So I wrote a program to do it. So I think we're right from here on.
Finish the quote. Yeah, we're going to spell it in Finnish, do we?
Yeah. Particularly your spelling in Finnish. Okay. And this is Albert Einstein again. Okay. I'm waiting for somebody.
Universe.
And
human stupidity.
That's right. And he's not sure about
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay. To steal ideas. No one knows this one? Okay, this one was from Stephen Wright.
There's a lot of Stephen Wrights out there in the world. You do know that, don't you?
See if you can work it out from the letters. This is my program from here, so it's my program randomly taking letters out of the text.
You need to modify your program to put it in a bit of punctuation.
Yeah, I better do that.
At least a recognizable space.
Yeah.
Come on, you're too easy. There you go. Come on, you got to get it from that one. To steal ideas.
Steal ideas from one person is plagiarism. To steal from many is research.
Okay. That's correct. Beautiful one. Plagiarism. Seems to be versus this. Yes, that's right, Jerry. Yes. Okay. Science can never. Well, obviously that's going to be hard, unless you know the quote. This quote is from George Bernard Shaw. Not sure about the universe. Yes, many. Hang on. You need to catch up, Clive. You're a little bit behind. It's probably enough to get that, maybe. Maybe not. Science can never use times as an independent variable. You know, that's not the answer. There you go. You should be able to get it from that one. Go on. Science can never. Anyone?
Solve one problem without raising 10 more problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what I said, except I had my mic muted. But I heard me perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the tree falling in the forest thing. Did it actually? Did we hear it or not? No, yeah. Okay. Yes, solve one problem without raising 10 more problems. Yes, I think I will adjust my program just a little bit, but we're getting there. The Great Tragedy of Science, and this is a quote from Thomas Huxley. That's right. Okay. No one knows the quote? The Great Tragedy of Science.
No, it's not the censorship of flat Earth theory.
No, it's a great trick. No, it doesn't fit. Got anyone yet? Okay. Yeah, I should get it from that one. I think next time I do this, I might add an extra step in there too. Great tragedy of science. Yep, that's the word.
The slaying of a beautiful hypothesis by an ugly fact.
Yes, that's the one. That was actually this great tragedy. That's how flat earthers should be aware of this quote. Okay. Scientists now believe. Oh, I don't know if anyone will know this one. Okay. Scientists now believe, there's a quote from Dave Barry. What do you think scientists now believe? Scientists now believe. And this is, I'll give a clue here. This is a biology question. So you can work out one of the words from that. Not 5 possible things before breakfast. Okay. More clues, more letters. Biology. No.
The primary biological function of breasts is to make me stupid.
Close enough. Make males stupid. But it's close enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as I am in that group, that's fine, isn't it? It would make me stupid.
That's what I said. Close enough. I'll give you that one. Okay. In physics. Quote from Frank Wilczek. I think that's it. Wilczek. Okay. Right, well, close enough, yes. In physics, you should be able to get 1 or 2 words out of there if you. Maybe too hard. Yeah. Yes, no alert. I've been doing better. Good thing Paul didn't play his other one, and he would have been really thinking about the biology. Yeah, you have to consider that next time you vote, which what the starting video is going to be. So there you go. No one? Okay, let's make it easy for you. There you go. In physics.
You don't have to go around making trouble for yourself. Nature does it for you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's the one. Turing test got that one as well. Okay. Don't worry about people stealing your ideas. This is a quote from Howard Aiken. Okay. No one knows it from the quote. You got a few words in there. No one's got it yet. Okay, let's make it easy. Don't worry about people stealing your ideas.
If your ideas are any good, you'll have to ram them down people's throats.
Yes, that's it. Very good. No, I got that too. Yes. Okay. Oh, molecular biology is, as a quote from Thomas Huxley, I might need to definitely put some spaces in there, make it a bit easier for you. Smaller hyphens, maybe, or underscores. Okay, next one. Next biology is
essentially the practice of biochemistry without a license.
Without a license.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes. I don't know enough about, but I get sort of get the gist of that one. And that was it. Okay.
Okay.
So the code sort of worked. Gonna have to improve it a little bit, I think. You can see from the it's got to build these up with multiple passages for it. Yeah. Some extra spaces. There we go. What do you reckon? It's more of those, but with better spaces next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely better spaces.
Better demarcation of what the words are.
Yeah, it's a bit hard when you just got the big long line, isn't it? Yeah.
And I know it's difficult because the software likes to concatenate all the underscores together.
Yeah.
But it'd be really nice if they would just leave them with gaps between the
little gap in
underscores, so
them,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
so
how many letters there are.
So I think I'll work on that. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, if anyone would like that code to do something I'll play with, I'm happy to send it to them. But yeah. Oh, okay. What have we got? Probably time to move out of the flat earth stuff. I mean the by flat earthers. Oh, something from Alan. Alan posted this up last week. Didn't get to play it. Bear with me a sec.
Oh yeah, my little 30 seconds.
Yes. A little 30 seconds. Sorry.
In fact, it's not even that much because there's a fair bit of there's a bit of intro and a bit of outro.
I could slow it down.
No, that's fine. Just play it back at normal speed.
Hey, Timbo, you know how my boss managed to burn himself by lighting petrol?
Yeah.
Well, his face healed up nicely. You know, you can't tell now, apart from the fact that he's got no eyebrows yet. You know, like, but unless you know him, you don't really notice that. But he also burnt his hand, the hand that held the match.
Yeah.
That was quite severely burned. In fact, that was the most severely burnt of all. And he had it bandaged up. And finally, the skin dropped off, and there was nice pink skin with no hair on it there. You know.
Yeah.
And so he left it unwrapped the other day. And now he has to go home and tell his wife that he got his hand sunburnt because he left it out in the sun.
And I had no skin on it, so it would have burned easy.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Now it's got to wrap it up again.
Yeah. That skin's probably going to peel off again. His nice new skin.
It's going to be, and I think sunburn is worse pain than. Oh dear, yeah, no fun that is. Depends how good a relationship you owe your boss. Can you stir him up about that for next,
Oh, of course I can.
6 months or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Alan, here we go. Alan did this video. Don't think no music to it, is it?
I stopped trying to put music in my videos because apparently I'm really crap at picking music.
Alan, is that what happens when you put the atmosphere next to an infinite vacuum?
It is indeed what happens when you put the atmosphere next to a vacuum. The reason why I ended up with that number of frames that I could turn it into video was I was trying to photograph meteors from the Perseid meteor shower.
Yeah.
And I did actually end up managing to catch 2 meteors in one frame and single meteors in 2 other frames. So that wasn't too bad. But of course, it would have helped if it hadn't have been cloudy and horrible like that.
Yeah, you don't need music, you just need a whooshing sound.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Put it back in.
Well, you have to understand they're 20-second exposures.
Yeah.
With a 1 second gap between exposures. And it's playing back at 24 frames a second. It's going to be going a bit quick.
It is, but yeah, it still looks cool. I'm hoping to be doing similar. I've got a telescope now. I was a bit worried.
Well, that was done with my widest angle lens, so of course I could get as much sky in there as possible.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to say I bought. Well, you have seen in my Discord I bought the telescope. Right, I picked it up this morning and put batteries in, and nothing happened. So checked the batteries, a little bit flat. So put new batteries in, turned it on, nothing happened. So I was a bit worried for a while. So then this afternoon I dug through my collection of chargers and found a similar voltage and plugged it in, and luckily it turned on actually. But I was only about half an hour before the show, so I thought, I better put it away, otherwise I'll get caught up. And but yeah, I was a bit worried.
What kind of
paid all that
telescope
money.
did you end up buying, Timbo?
Sorry, was it?
What kind of telescope did you end up buying?
It's a well, we're talking here. A Celestron.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find Celestron. It is a computerized one. Here we go.
Is it an alt-azimuth mount or an equatorial mount?
It has an equatorial mount in a manner. So, horrible pictures they put up in this shop. Yeah, go back one because that's not very good. Let's go. Where's the images? So what it does for, see on there, same place. That's annoying. It has on the tripod, the mount onto the tripod has a hinge in it, and then it has a bar which you can set at your latitude, and of course the motor spins around the base, so effectively it becomes an equatorial mount.
Okay.
So yes.
So it's an alt-azimuth mount with a wedge.
Yeah, basically.
And what model of scope?
So this one is the 4SE.
Okay.
Nexstar 4SE.
Yep.
And so it's a little bit older, but I got as far as getting it turned on. I haven't got it to work out where it is properly yet.
Yeah, I've got the 8SE.
All right. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. And I just sort of wanted something that was a little bit better than a camera, and I could stick something on the back of it and do a little bit of photography on it. So, yeah.
Have you got yourself like a T adapter or?
Not yet. I might have. I haven't dug through my boxes of photographic stuff, but I think there is a specific T adapter this one should use. I was also going to get a mobile phone mount because it's only $10. And basically, it mounts the mobile phone to the eyepiece. and give that a go. But I do want to use my SLR camera because it's got a higher resolution than the phone does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can set it up for doing the same sort of stuff that Alan's doing then. With the tracking, get it to do some reasonable pictures. That's the main thinking, was that this can actually track if I set it up appropriately.
Yeah, I'd quite like to get one of those mounts, because as you say, you can stick it on a wedge and use it as an equatorial, but also, of course, it makes doing things like multi-row panoramic stitches much easier.
Yeah. So
at the moment, I shoot them handheld, and you have to be really careful about getting using lots of overlap.
Yeah. So what we're saying for those that don't know that one, I'm just trying to find a picture of it. They don't really give a very clear picture of it, but this latitude adjustment bar, as I said, basically pushes it up and gets that onto the right angle for the motor to turn around on. So, yeah, now what did annoy me though, and it has annoyed me all the way through it, and sorry Blue, but things that label, we give both US and international information. Why not just you give cities from all over the world? But apparently they give US cities and international cities all the way through. And when I put in to see if I can find Canberra, they don't have Canberra. It's one of their cities. So there you go. I can do Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth. So Canberra and Hobart.
You can program your own locations into
yeah.
Timbo, so yeah.
Yeah. I can put my own latitude. That's not a problem, but it was what's the thing? Why is they got 40,000 celestial bodies, but you know, they don't put all the major cities in Australia in. But anyway, that's okay. We'll program it in. Well, once I have a bit of a chance to play with it, but I didn't really get to play with it too much. But,
did it come with a selection of Celestron eyepieces, or?
Nah. It's because I bought it second hand, so I only paid a fraction of a new price for it. But it does have an eyepiece, luckily. So it's pretty much what you see in that image there, but with no extra eyepieces or anything. So
what eyepiece have you got? Is it a Plossel eyepiece?
Yeah, actually got a minute. I didn't even look yet.
I think he's gone to recover it.
So I've just sneaked over to pick it out so I can have a look. What have we got? So it's a Celestron eyepiece. Elux.
Yep.
I'll get that in a light so I can read it. Elux 25mm Plossel, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Full coated, yeah. That's all it says. Yeah, so it's Plossel one.
Yep.
Yeah. But what's really frustrating is that on the same auction, well, not the same auction, but on the same auction site, they put up about a box of, I think it was 25 different eyepieces for this particular one.
Okay.
But that was last week. I didn't own it. Obviously, I wasn't going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, your 25mm eyepiece will be good for looking at the moon because it's got a wide field of view and stuff like that. But like if you try and look at any of the planets or something like that, they'll be looking pretty small in there.
What do you recommend? Because I'll be looking to getting some bits and pieces from now.
Have you heard of a website called the Field of View Calculator?
Nope.
I'll give you a link to it. It basically lets you put in your brand of telescope and your eyepiece, and it will give you a picture, like it's got a list of celestial objects there, and it'll take your combination and what you've used, whether it's a Barlow or a non-Barlow, or what focal length eyepiece you use and what quality eyepiece and what your telescope is, and it'll calculate. It'll show you what the image of, say, Saturn will look like through your telescope. Okay.
Yep.
So,
if you dump that in, there's a few calculators in there. Yeah.
So let's copy that. I'll give you that in the chat. Where are we? There we go.
Chat.
So you got a 4SC. I'll put that in and see what we get. So
yeah, that's the one I had. Yeah, that one. I've got it on screen at the moment. So
yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So if you put in, if you go to, say, solar system and you put in, say, the easiest one to visualize is obviously Jupiter because it's closest.
Yep. Biggest tesseract scope. So look in here. Hopefully we should find this.
Yeah, you'll go down. You'll find your Celestron 4SC in there.
No, it's going to be under 4 because it's where they structured that. Next up 4, 5. Next up 4. SE. There's custom eyepiece. Search 4. So they're just saying custom eyepiece. I reckon. What do we do now? Put in a.
Oh well, it should have your eyepiece listed there. All right, so click on that and you'll go down to Celestron.
Okay.
And it should have the Elux 25mm there, I think. I reckon I've seen that there.
Flossy it was, so 25mm. And what should I hit now? I think. Interview. Bar reducer. Oh, it's coming up. Don't need a reducer. Oh, they're coming up. Oh well, I'll play with it.
So did you do that? And then you added it to your view?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Come up there. So that's all I see. A dot. So, not a lot.
No, you won't see a lot. Yeah.
That looks about as big as Jupiter looks through the through the optical viewfinder of my camera with my 600mm lens on it.
See now go to your scope and put the 8SE in.
Yeah.
All right.
Same one.
No, and then go down and put your 4mm lens in because I've got a 4mm plus lens.
Plus or 6 plus or. I don't know before. It's got 6.
Yeah, there should be a 4 there somewhere, I think.
Elux. Celestron. Oh, there it is. Omni plus.
Yeah.
Add to view. Yes, a little bit bigger.
Right, and then delete the red one.
I'll just leave it on for comparison. The yellow one versus. There we go.
There you go. So that's what I'll see through my scope.
All right. So what do I need to get closer to yours?
You need to get a shorter focal length eyepiece.
Right.
All right. So if you go back to your 4SE and you stick with your 4mm lens, you should be okay.
Let's have a look at it.
I mean, your focal length won't be quite as big, but at least it'll be better.
That one. Well, it'll be better.
Yeah. You need to get yourself a bit more of a variety of eyepieces so that you can
That's a good start.
view various things. I mean, your 4mm is no good for looking at the moon because you'll see too much and it'll be too bright. But you know, your 25mm. So if you go to your solar system objects there, and you go back to your 25mm lens and select moon in your solar system, and go back to your 25mm lens, and go back to your 4SE.
Yeah, I'm still on the 4SE. If I go back to the 25, I just
it
was the plus 25. That one, and we get view.
That's it. Yeah, so that's quite acceptable.
Yeah, but a 4mm I'd be seeing this, so it's definitely worth getting some lesser ones. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
That one. Hang on, no, I've got too many on there. 6 mil. That one. There we go. Bit blurry, but can we see more?
And your other choice for looking at the moon too is you probably want a moon filter for looking at the moon as well, because it will reduce your intensity. It'll be too bright.
Just curious.
I don't know whether that actually does filters or not.
Don't think so.
No, that's all right. But yeah, if you put a moon filter on, it'll reduce the intensity and make it a bit more pleasant to view.
Okay. Well, we'll play about that. Yeah, definitely looks like.
So there you go.
Well, that's good because it gives you a bit better idea whether what I get's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Now I've got to have a look and see if they're going to have more lenses come up. Because that was the annoying thing. That's all the lenses came up last week.
Yeah.
But they were selling a lot of them. We'll see. Yeah, that.
Are eyepieces generally standard across most telescopes, Paul?
It depends whether what size eyepiece you're looking for. I mean, I don't know what diameter eyepiece the 4SE has. You know, whether it's an inch or more.
The eyepiece is, I think it's the same as yours. So I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. But it depends. I mean, you can pay anywhere from like bargain basement prices for an eyepiece, and well, what you'll get is a bargain basement quality image out of it, you know. So, but yeah, or you can spend like literally thousands of dollars on an eyepiece, you know.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of like find that happy medium between getting a good eyepiece and going into diminishing returns territory, because you know, like the size of your scope is going to be your main limiting factor there. You know, you don't want to get an eyepiece that's too expensive, because you won't get the benefit of it anyway because of the quality of your scope. But you'd want to go for something a bit more than your basic eyepiece if you can.
Yeah.
And then the other alternative, Timbo, is to go for a CCD, like a sensor that you put in instead of the eyepiece, and then hook it up to a laptop or, you know, something like that.
Well, that's
So
if I put have you put an SLR on it, or just put?
Yeah. I've got a T adapter that I can hook my Sony A7 onto it. That does a good job. Yeah.
Do you put something in between it to improve the magnification, or just leave it as is?
No, just leave it as it is. Yeah.
Like, because I was just considering if you do better with a different eyepiece, whether you need it to do something in between the T-piece and the camera to improve.
No, I mean, you can change the settings in your camera too to change that as well. So, you know, you can change how much of the sensor you use, and yeah.
Okay. Well, something I'm going to be playing with them. Yeah.
What kind of an SLR have you got?
I've got a couple, but one I'm probably using this one. Which was the D5200.
Okay.
Which is reasonable good. I do have a Pentax
Yeah.
put on as well, but the Nikon is fairly easy to manage. It's not too heavy either, which is the other thing I was looking at. Yeah.
You just got to get the right T adapter, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that'll be a problem. There seems to be plenty.
No, they're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, Amazon is full of that stuff. So Amazon and eBay, and I'll probably get something ordered. I'll dig through what I've got, because I've got a few adapters and things, but I don't think I've got the right T adapter to do it onto that 24mm eyepiece. So
Have you seen what Clive has reminded you of? You'll need a heated eyepiece if looking at the moon, or else your eye will freeze due to the cold moonlight.
Magnified light. That's why I got to use the camera, Clive. So the camera can freeze and not me. Yes. Yes.
Although, actually, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but I know one thing I really need to get is an objective, is a heater band to put around the front of my lens to stop the lens front element misting up all the bloody time.
Yeah.
Because
that's something you'll learn too, Timbo, that if you're doing any observation on cold nights, you'll need to acclimatise your scope.
Well,
you can't just go from inside and whack your telescope outside and expect it to behave.
I did notice one of the accessories you could get for it was a heated sleeve to manage the dew and keep it constant. Yeah.
Dew heaters, they certainly in the UK they are very useful, because I tend to find mine starts misting over after about an hour and a half. So it's pretty much already at ambient temperature by then.
Yeah.
It's just that
excuse me. Yeah.
It's just everything gets below the dew point. I mean, I even get dew forming on the wheelchair as well. So
and just a word of warning too, Timbo.
Be surprised.
Just a word of warning, Timbo. Be careful that your pooey little fingers don't get all over the corrector plate on the front of the scope.
Yeah.
So when you take that cover off the front, be really careful not to touch that corrector plate. So
that's actually something I've got to get, because it doesn't actually have a cover for the front.
Okay.
So
do that. Yeah, you need to make something temporary to put over that then, because that's quite an integral part of the system. So
it does have it does have a cover for the eyepiece, but not for the front. So I'm not quite sure where this came from, but it was.
And you'll probably want to perform an alignment on it too.
Yeah,
if you can. So
As I said, I've only just got it as functioning now.
Yeah.
Get it, so I could get it to do something. I looked at my first star, which was obviously just a point of light in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. All the stars are the same brightness and the same distance away, according to David Weiss.
Yeah, so there you go.
I mean, I don't know what these astronomers have been talking about with giving different stars different magnitudes. I mean, like, they're all apparently the same, according to Weiss.
I mean, even I've noticed if you double the exposure, you seem to see quite a lot more stars than you did if you didn't.
That's right. David Weiss's assertion was that the big red stars are further away and the smaller ones are closer.
Yes.
Oh dear. Because they all look the same size, apparently.
And how far away is that?
My stars must be defective. Mine are not all the same.
No, mine aren't all the same either. I mean, it's clearly obvious that some appear in the sky before others. Yeah, because they're brighter.
Well, even
Yeah, I've noticed that some seem really bright, and others don't seem bright at all.
Well,
yeah.
The alignment
But
in
then
the
again,
scriptures.
David Weiss is not very bright either.
He's
So.
not very bright. I mean, I'd say he has a magnitude of about, or what, -30.
He's well. I was just going to say the manual says I've got to look for the brightest stars in the sky. How do I do that if they're all the same brightness?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you line it up. Find the brightest star and point it at. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Timbo, am I right
Yeah,
in recalling that you've got a 3D printer?
I do, yes.
Oh, well, at least you'll be able to print yourself one of those. Is it a Makarov mask for correctly focusing it?
A Makarov mask.
Oh, Batov mask, I think it is.
A Batov mask.
It's like a grid of slots that are at different angles, and when you look through it, when it's correctly in focus, it ensures you get diffraction spikes.
Bationov.
You can get nice and sharp.
B-A-H-O.
That's it.
Bationov mask. Yes.
That'll be the one.
I did see that when I was looking at accessories. I'll have a look and print one of those out. But I might be printing a cover for it first to put on that.
Yeah.
I'll probably find it in the same pile of 3D prints, but yeah, might be something to print the next day or so as a cover to go on the front. Not that a cover's very expensive. It doesn't look like they're very expensive at all, but yeah, you got a 3D printer, you got to use it. And actually, this would be quite an easy 3D print because you're printing down onto the face and just building up the wall of the cover. So that's not a very difficult one. I did. One of the things to be interesting is getting a. There's this another cover you can get for doing sun shots for eclipses, etc. And obviously in a sun filter as well. So things I can play with will be fun. Unfortunately, I missed the big moon. I did get some pictures of that but not overly exciting ones.
I have to say that I've kind of got fed up with photographing full moons because they're not. I find them a bit because they're really flat because obviously the sun's shining directly on it, so there's there's no modelling from the light from the angle of the light falling on it. Whereas you get it away from the full moon and you got a nice terminator with some detail in it.
Yeah. Well, it's coming time to finish the show. It's just at midnight here. I've got to go to bed so I can wake up and have Dad's Day tomorrow. So, although I did organise that we would not do Father's Day till about 9 o'clock, so I wasn't getting woken up at 6 o'clock.
Oh, you have Father's Day tomorrow, do you?
Yeah, first weekend of September. My wife had to remind me this morning that it was Father's Day tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm not watching a lot of commercial TV, so I didn't see all the ads. And, my kids are like 32 and 21, 22, so it's not... That's a bit different. But yes. We'll see what happens.
Well, why would you print one, Timbo? Celestron dust cap for 4SE, $15.
$15? Well, I could print it for like $1. And, you know, it's the fun of having a 3D printers making stuff. But I won't be printing our new lens eyepiece, Paul. I think I might be.
No, probably not.
So, so it gives me more money to spend on eyepieces. It's about $40 for a T adapter, somewhere in there. So that's my alarm telling us it's midnight. Yeah. Although I do, there's a star sense. You don't have one of those, do you? You stick on the top and
No.
No, $800. Automatically aligns your telescope. It's got a camera on it. Obviously, it must look at the stars and work out where it is, and then adjust to that. Cool. A lot of money. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks, Peanuts, for coming. Oh, Judy, didn't see you there before. And probably best to say I won't have another show on Wednesday. Yeah, it's more likely that I won't than it will. So I will see you guys next Saturday.
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'll say I won't create another hard math quiz. I'll save the
we'll save the other one.
the general quiz for next Saturday.
What we'll do is we'll have a Matt quiz for Matt.
A Matt friendly quiz.
We'll have a Matt friendly math quiz. We'll do. You have 4 apples, and you give 2 apples to your friend, and you take away 6 apples. How many have you got left? You can't take away 6 apples. That's negative. Yes, we'll do something like that. Okay. We'll see you guys. Thanks for coming. You want to say goodnight to Peanuts?
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Hey, see you next week. See you guys. And it's over.